Yes, indeed. 78 being the first car to join us out of a 23 cars we expect to see in the first group this afternoon. And then, of course, we will have the fastest 5 on top of that, with the 5 fastest autocross runs from yesterday. And afterwards, there might even still be some time left to see some historic cars take on the endurance track. But first, car number 54 from Barcelona joining the endurance.
And already we're looking at one of the cars stopping just at the Ravenel curve.
There is a Hamburg car number 78, the first one to join us. We see the marshals are running over to the car, not touching it or pushing it away yet.
And a bit of information about the Barcelona car, the 54 that we have. This is probably Juan Carlos Kerpa, also named Serpi, as a first driver. And apparently in FSS they often had relay welds that failed to open, similar to e-racing Technung. So they were already making jokes that they had a relationship with that team.
And already it looks like the DNF car for Barcelona, or for Hamburg, sorry, Hamburg. Barcelona is the next car. Hamburg has already been confirmed on the radio. Unfortunately, that was a very short endurance. Not sure what happened there, but it seems that it's terminal, so we won't be seeing them again.
Barcelona, meanwhile, also slowing down quite hard on the final straight. Managing to keep going, though. Maybe the driver was just being a little bit cautious with the brakes.
But indeed, it's sometimes coming to a halt. Not sure if it's intentional or if the brakes are a bit sticky. Sometimes drivers call it sticky. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily to brake quite hard for the last corner, because a lot of other drivers have overshot it.
Next car on track, 149 Erlangen. Just coming back to the previous car, no, it didn't seem like an intentional stop like that, because the driver was doing, the car was doing it here just before the concular chicane. It's a very unnatural way of driving and braking. So I'm pretty sure it's not not something the driver wants to do. It's something that the car does. Next car, they're coming thick and fast now. 197 from Schweinfurt. So just to remind everybody, we have 23 cars in the second group, and judging by the pace of the, let's say, of the previous group, this means that, and if we will get another 7 or 8 cars out on track, then it will be an action-packed afternoon, just before the final 5 in the historics. But let's hope they match the 50% finish rate. At least, maybe even bettering it. Let's hope they all finish. That's always what we hope, of course. And we're keeping our fingers crossed for them.
Just 3 cars out on track at the moment. Martin, maybe you can peek in the queue, see who we would expect to join us next.
Yeah, all these cars were already prepared, and there's a little bit of a duller moment in the queue. Leuven is slowly being prepared, but that's still going to take a while. Behind them, we will be expecting the car from Bern, Ostfalia, and also high-speed Karlsruhe, but I think that's still going to take a while. And I'm skipping one indeed. The 172 car from Dortmund is actually snuck past me and made its way to the starting line. So that means that we will have 4 rolling cars on the track. The driver is signaling something from the Dortmund car. Let's hope it's not signaling about a problem. Really doing a lot of hand signals. It's talking probably via the radio to its team.
He just wants to go. He was signaling to the marshal that please let me out. Not sure whether his visor is also has a little bit of haze inside, and he just wants to have some cooling air so he can clear his visor.
Yeah, indeed, if you're with a closed visor standing still, there's no airflow, so you get a bit of fog developing. I always had it a little bit open, sometimes a bit too much, and then on the first straight you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, or just don't breathe that heavily inside your helmet. Also something to consider. Anyway, we have the fourth car running. Yeah, and I think the marshals are just giving the last rides to the cars in the queue, the last instructions.
In the morning session we saw a lot of overtakes, traffic jams and everything. I think the further we go, the faster the cars become, but also a bit more consistent. So I think we'll see less overtakes and less chaos, which is good for the teams, of course, but we like to see a little bit of drama happening, as it gives a nice show to everyone. But yeah, I said it was going to take a while before we saw new cars, but actually very quickly the car from Leuven has been prepared, and I see the high voltage is on, so they might make their way in the coming minutes.
And meanwhile, everything progressing very smoothly out on the track. The car from Barcelona looking a little bit jerky in the braking sections again, but continuing nicely. The car 149 from Erlangen is slowing down quite considerably though, still moving.
Yeah, the Barcelona car is sometimes taking these weird corners or maybe lifting a bit too much, but they are quick. It's an 82.2, while the others are currently lapping more around the 90-second mark. Not lapping though, is Erlangen. I think Mickey has been waiting that.
Yeah, well spotted. Jaeger spotted it half a minute ago that the car from Erlangen was slowing down a little bit. Now it has come to a full stop. Yeah, the marshals are waving the Schweinfurt car by, and in the meanwhile, the other two marshals are having a conversation with the driver. We've seen this a lot this morning as well. The car stopping, and after a while, after rebooting, getting going again. Sometimes permanently, sometimes for a short while again. Let's hope Erlangen will be able to restart the car and finishing it without any other gremlins.
Yeah, the other drivers doing a very good job at slowing down in the yellow flag zone. That is very nice to see. Once behind the slalom, after the slalom, green flag again. And Barcelona still flying past. They are very quick. And the Leuven has made its way to the starting blocks.
Yeah, and I can see the TSOL light again from Erlangen. And oh no, it's off again, so it's back to green. So yeah, it's a bit of a nail-biting situation for the Erlangen car. It wasn't that long. I think it was a bit more than a lap that they managed to. So the TSOL is on again. Let's hope this time they will manage to go.
I see car number 22 from Leuven starting their endurance run. A lot less dramatic than on their autocross attempt, where we saw a lot of front wheel spin. Now the driver moving a little bit more conservatively and a little bit more steadily.
I could not hear any regen braking on the Leuven car, so either it's not switched on, which would be a shame in endurance, or their accumulator is topped up to the fullest, and so it will probably take a lap or so before you can actually charge back some energy in the accumulator. And the driver from the Leuven car is Nathaniel Dursch. And their goal is to end up top 10 overall. And let's see what they want to do is shout out to all the moms that watched their clothes during the whole years and almost didn't see them because they were working so hard on the car.
Yeah, that's a sacrifice the family of a former student team member has to make, willingly or unwillingly. You don't get to see your sons and daughters for a long time. While they're giving all their time and effort into the building of the car. And I hear on the radio that the driver from Erlangen was given one last try to restart the stricken car. But as far as I can see, that did not happen. Yeah, so unfortunately for Erlangen, they are being pushed out of the way. So they had quite some time to restart the car, but they didn't manage to do so. So unfortunately, that's a DNF for Erlangen.
Yeah, that didn't take long. Uh-oh, Schweinfurt coming to a halt just before Barcelona. Luckily the marshal is able to remove some cones so that Barcelona can drive around the Schweinfurt car. But that is not good news for Schweinfurt. Diesel is green, so that means the high voltage is deactivated. Let's see if they can get it to restart. Birds. Now, Mickey, you're distracting me just as I'm going to say something with your jokes.
Sorry, I'm impersonating Yoda into the ear of Matthias, so obviously he's distracted. But go ahead, Matthias.
Yes, I wanted to say that Bern made its way to the starting blocks, so they will join the cars that are currently on track. And behind them is the car from Ostfalia, WOP Racing. Very good looking car. They had some issues in autocross, but they will be making their way to the endurance.
And just looking at the Schweinfurt car, unfortunately the driver not able to restart it just yet. I'm wondering if it has anything to do with perhaps a mechanical system, because that car did start bottoming out quite progressively heavier throughout their run. Of course, we're not seeing any obvious mechanical damage, but the car is not moving.
And also to add to that, Diego, I also heard on the radio that the driver is trying to restart the car, indicating that that shouldn't be a mechanical issue. We don't know for sure, obviously, but it seems like just one of the many electronic gremlins that the electric car seems to have this year. We're seeing this a lot, obviously. But the clock is ticking, and they don't have infinite amount of time. And this is already the second time the cars have experienced some hindrance from Schweinfurt. So it will not take long until the marshals decide, okay, this is more than enough, and you are being pushed off the track.
The first driver of Bern should be Mattia. And in the second stint we expect Olivier, the Iceman, to make an appearance.
So Iceman is a driver these days as well. Used to be quite a good fighter pilot as well.
And the Schweinfurt car is now being pushed off. Unfortunately, that is a DNF for them. Marshals removing the car from the track and removing the obstruction as car number 54 from Barcelona approaches the horseshoe.
Yes, great job by the marshals. They waved a number of cars around for a couple of minutes, potentially defusing a dangerous situation. But all has been managed quite professionally in that sector.
And we're seeing now Barcelona completing the first half of the endurance, and immediately car number 35 from Ostfalia starting their run. Well done to Barcelona for making it to the driver change. We'll be expecting them back out on the track very soon.
And all the times are quite evenly matched. Everyone is lapping around the 86 to 90 lap times. Barcelona was the quickest on track. While I say that Dortmund improves, and actually now they are the quickest on track with an 83.2. Leuven also a significant improvement from him in the third lap. They are passing me now. And are they improving even further? Yes, significant improvement. They bring it down to an 82.3. So all the cars on track are pushing, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Ostfalia car past the finish line, because they seem to be going very fast. Bern definitely slightly limited on top speed, so they are conserving a bit of energy. Big improvement though from the driver, also lapping in the 87. First lap from WOP Racing coming in. And now, what will it be? Immediately an 81.4 on the first lap of Ostfalia. Really nice.
Yes, the cars, like you say, Mati, all very evenly matched. I don't think we've had a single blue flag situation yet.
And the first driver of Ostfalia is Patrick Trapp, aka Pat Pat. And apparently he believes that the car is a lawnmower. Interesting.
Well, we used to have cars in the past that were lawnmowers as well, but those were single-cylinder engines, right? But then again, you have electrical lawnmowers these days, so that might actually make sense. Yeah, I'm just having an eye on UAS Munich at the line here, car number 131, looking to join the endurance, just waiting for a gap in between the cars. So the next car will be out on track shortly. And I do seem to hear some kind of strange sound from one of the cars. Let me check. No, it's okay. It's just the regular sound from Ostfalia.
Yeah, I think under braking they slightly slide their front wing a bit over the ground. Wow, big wheel spin from UAS Munich who joins us.
I'm not so sure that it's a normal sound from Ostfalia. I heard it too, and it seems to happen the most, sort of a ticking sound when they are turning to the left.
A double checkered flag for the TU Dortmund's car coming in for the driver change.
And I think we have our first successful driver change of the afternoon. UPC Barcelona are ready with their second driver. And they will be looking to do their second stint of the endurance. Wow, and the Ostfalia car had a 77.6 in their second lap. Extremely quick on track right now.
Yeah, they are indeed very quick. They've caught up to the car from Bern, and we'll be expecting a blue flag at the next blue flag section.
Well,
unfortunately, yeah, it seems the marshals have missed that, and the car from Ostfalia will have to stay behind the car from Bern for a little while longer.
Yeah, the driver was actually waving in anger. Ooh, and there is a meatball flag, but yeah, was missed because he was so busy chasing Bern.
Yeah, so look, it looks like we did spot something, because also the scrutineers have spotted something on the car of Ostfalia. I'm not sure, we're still not sure what it exactly is. We just heard a strange sound. We couldn't see anything, but it looks like it caught the attention of the scrutineers. So I'm pretty sure the next lap Ostfalia will be brought into the driver change area for a quick inspection.
And is that a combustion car joining the track? 141 from Vienna. And indeed, that meatball flag for Ostfalia is probably the reason the car ahead of them, Bern, is not being shown any blue flags.
Yeah, the driver from Ostfalia now getting quite angry. Yeah, I'm not sure what would be wrong. I mean, they were lapping extremely quick, so it didn't hamper their performance. But we'll find out in a few moments.
Yeah, I think coming through the horseshoe, you could hear that clicking quite a bit. Let's see if we can hear it again.
Yeah, the meatball flag is being shown again. Let's hope the Ostfalia driver will notice.
I believe that's a black flag this time, not a meatball one.
Yeah. Maybe for failing to act on the meatball flag earlier. So not sure what exactly the situation is, but Matthias is already downstairs taking a look at the car.
5 cars out on track at the moment then. Ostfalia pulling into the pits with a black flag. The last lap sign is now being prepared for the car from Leuven, I believe, who are about to come into their driver change on the next go-round.
Matthias, any update on the situation? Maybe ask one of the scrutineers.
Yeah, a little update on Ostfalia. I think it's something about the rear brake light that's not working for them, interestingly enough. So I don't think it's necessarily anything to do with the sound we hear. Maybe it's correlated, could be, but that seems to be the main issue. I'm going to confirm it.
Well, the driver seems to be thinking he should have gotten out. I'm not sure why, but
I think mostly out of frustration, but then
Yeah.
the official said you still need to push the car somewhere.
ah, that's it. Okay, but so it is confirmed that the lights, the brake lights, is the culprit.
Not confirmed yet. I'm still looking who can give me final information.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, while you're confirming, we've had car number 42 from Prague join us on the track, looking very quick. And also, 2 blue flags have been missed for car number 131. Not that they have missed it and not yielded, but that the car from Bern has already gone past 2 blue flag sections without pulling over because no flag was shown. Now, finally, the flag is shown, and Munich overtakes Bern as Dortmund comes out of the driver change and rejoins the track.
Okay, confirmed. It was indeed the brake light which was not plugged in for the car from Ostfalia, so that is really a shame.
And Leuven coming in for the driver change as well. So a lot of action all of a sudden. Unfortunate end for Ostfalia, and also some drama on the track because of some frustrated Berlin car. I saw the driver waving in frustration, and also the team members standing next to the track, looking at the marshals to give the blue flag as soon as possible. But that situation has been resolved, and Berlin can now actually show how fast they can navigate the track.
You mean UAS Munich?
Oh, I'm sorry, I always confuse those two, but UAS Munich, you're right, Diego, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I believe UAS Munich is number 131 and Berlin is 313. So
yeah,
very
there
close
you go.
indeed.
I'm confused again. I always tell people I'm easily confused. So if you have numbers that are similar, then I'm confused.
Another blue flag situation developing. Prague has caught up to Vienna as car number 90 from Milan starts their first lap.
Yes, so we're adding some Italian passion to the mix here on the endurance. And let me do a quick count. We have 2, 4, 6, 7 cars out on track. So again, the marshals are letting a lot of cars go out on track simultaneously. Judging by this morning's action, that went quite okay in my opinion. Could have been better as always, obviously, but it wasn't bad. And also the marshal here at the flag is also quite busy because he has to not only show the last lap, wave flags, but also give the meatball flag or a black flag. So actually he even has an assistant that tells him what to do and when to do it to which car. So the last lap sign being shown to car number 227 from Bern. I look in the queue, a couple of very quick cars indeed. I see Tallinn waiting patiently for their turn to come into the mix of the endurance. Yeah, and UAS Munich catching the next car quite rapidly. Will not be overtaking them on the final straight, but it comes pretty close to the car from Barcelona. Yeah, it's very close indeed, but they'll have to be a little bit patient. Again, the team members from Munich waving their hands in desperation. They do not understand why the blue flag has not been shown yet. So, but a little bit of patience because I think the next one is quite soon indeed. And there we go. And we have the checkered flag for Bern, also coming in for the driver change.
And Leuven, meanwhile, makes it out of the driver change.
I'm here with the driver from Leuven, the first driver, Nathaniel. How did it go in your first run? It looked quite quick, so curious to hear your thoughts.
So at the beginning of the run we were a bit trying to see what our power consumption was, to see if the battery will go along. But then after a few laps I could put on regen, and since then the power consumption was quite good, so it was just pushing. In the end our battery got a bit hot, so it was again a bit less regen, but it was quite fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck to the second driver, of course. Fingers crossed. Thank you.
So well, I had to shut off my microphone a little bit for this combustion car coming by from Vienna. Anyway, your speculation was actually spot on, Matthias, because you told me, well, maybe they don't use regen for the first couple of laps, and it was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and interesting to hear that indeed from the third lap on he could push a bit, but then now the heating issues start, and so this driver will be looking to just bring it home, or at least manage the situation as good as possible.
Yeah, still 7 cars running simultaneously on track, and we have another one still in the driver change area, which is number 8 then. So that means that again having 8 cars on track running in parallel order or simultaneously filling up the track quite nicely, giving us a lot of action for us to commentate on. We do hope we catch everything. We don't always catch all the action for you guys, but we try to keep our eyes on everything that happens on track and keep you informed.
Yeah, and in the past we've seen 4 or 5 cars on track in endurance, but this year they are really bringing it to a next level with 7 to 8 cars simultaneously. And yeah, so far the organization of it is going very smooth. Had some really cool and nice battles on track. Of course they cannot overtake on the track, but yeah, all the cars going really fast. And I think, talking about battles, I've seen the Milano car getting ever closer to Leuven every lap. Might still take them half a lap before they really get under the rear wing. I don't know, an early blue flag this time for Leuven, which is actually quite nice, because then both teams do not really lose any time, and Leuven can maybe even save a bit of energy. But behind them is now the car from Prague, which has a lot of speed in it. And so how long can Leuven last to stay in front of Prague? Well, it's going to be for the next overtaking zone, I think, but after that there are no cars.
Yes, Prague indeed going very quick. Them and Munich Motorsport are the only ones lapping relatively consistently in the low 80s, Prague even in the high 70s.
That's another car coming in for the driving change. It looks like it's UAS Munich completing the first 9 laps very quickly indeed.
Barcelona now getting the last lap sign, having completed 17.
Oh, and the driver from Prague going flat out in one of the first corners here, just in front of us in the blue zone.
That's the, I think that's the kink, right?
The kink indeed, yeah.
The kink.
The kink is now, it's 2 kinks. It's too kinky.
Too kinky, okay. No problem. In the meantime, Tallinn, we've spotted them earlier with our everything seeing eyes. This should be also a very fast attempt from the guys from Tallinn. In the meantime, also the last lap sign is being ready for one of the cars.
Yeah, I believe that might be for Vienna to come into the driver change on their next go-round. Meanwhile, Barcelona just a few corners from finishing endurance. The marshals are preparing the double checkered flags.
Yeah, driver acknowledging the last lap that he signed it. And then we have Barcelona finishing endurance. And if there's any question about how happy the team is, just listen to that sound from the grandstand. Then you'll know which team that is that just finished.
And now we have Milan and Prague being led by the car from Bern. And let's see, Prague being shown the last lap sign before the driver change. Let's see if they can catch Milan before that.
Yeah, and the Leuven driver doing a really good job to drive as smooth as possible. We had an interview before with the first driver who also mentioned their temperatures were getting higher and higher, so they are doing some management.
The Tallinn driver also looking very smooth out there. It seems that the Prague car is not quite able to catch the car from Milan. I think we will not be seeing the blue flag before Prague comes in for the driver change. But that is good, of course, to see that our team is being slowed down and they're able to show their full potential.
It's a shame a little bit because we have a proper battle going on speed-wise between the Milano car and the Prague car. Two very quick drivers, and we have the waved checkered flag for driver change for Vienna. And in the meantime, Prague Milano crossing the line and Prague getting into the driver change as well. And UAS Munich, car number 131, back from driver change, successfully completed that part of the challenge of the endurance.
Tallinn now catching up to the car from Leuven. Not quite quick enough to get the blue flags in the first section, so they will have to wait until the outfield along the Ravenel curve. Nicky, now we have car number 313 from Berlin joining us at the start line.
Oh no, and they are in the same slot as 131. This is going to be very confusing for me.
Yeah, I think the distinctive beehive sound from the Berlin car will help you out there. Berlin setting off on their first lap.
Milano about to overtake Dortmund, who has gone significantly slower than their fastest lap. So clearly they are managing something, be it energy or temperature. Their best lap was an 81, but they are doing 98 now.
Last lap for Milano as well. It's going faster and faster, and it's very hard for us to keep up, but it's so fast. In my mind, Milano just started and they already got the last lap sign. It's ridiculous how fast these cars are.
The Tallinn car is going very quick, 76.8 and the last lap is 77. And they seem to be currently the fastest car on track. And let's see if Berlin can change that or do anything about that.
If Bern and Berlin would ever have a cooperation, I would know the car name, Bernlin.
Berlin cannot quite match the pace from Tallinn, 83.2. Of course, we do not know how much energy they are carrying around. And Milano comes in for their driver change. Yes, indeed, very quickly. They've done a very consistent first stint, so well done to the driver.
And Vienna are about to come out of their driver change. I think we'll allow the cars from Bern and Dortmund and UAS Munich by first.
And it looks like Dortmund is on their final lap. as far as I can tell. Yeah, they have completed their 17th lap and on the final lap, so the final 1.2 kilometers for Dortmund. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they will be very happy to finish because they have been slower and slower and slower every lap. So it's all about bringing it home now.
And the last remaining combustion car of today, Vienna, is on the track as well. Well, judging by the sound anyway. We know it's an electric car, obviously. Here we have Berlin coming over the line in a very spectacular fashion, sideways through the last chicane. Actually, it's driving with the DRS all the way open until the even in through the kink. Did you see that, Matthias? DRS open into the kink.
Yes, it probably triggers on braking, but in the kink you do not brake. So that is a tricky situation. Hopefully we do not see them spin in any of the laps.
Prague is ready to come out of the driver change, just waiting at the green flag.
Yeah, and they are, if they were to add the Prague car to the track right now, it would be very busy and it would start to overtake them all. So not sure if they will wait it out a little bit or find a gap.
I think they'll let the car from Dortmund finish first. As they are approaching the finish line on their final lap, and Dortmund completes the endurance. Congratulations.
Another big cheer from the team, obviously being very happy for Dortmund. So awesome job, well done. And Prague back from the driver change as well, and wasting no time, immediately attacking the track.
Once again, a little bit of a traffic jam forming. We have the car from Tallinn catching the car from Munich, and both of them catching up to Bern.
Ooh, Tallinn is very close to the Munich car. No, sorry, the Prague car.
No, Munich car.
Oh, Munich.
Right,
Oh my God.
It's very close.
Again, but it's very close. Now the driver is backing up just a little bit. Yeah, fortunately nothing happened there, but if you're so close, you have no reaction time at all if something happens.
And Bern now being given the blue flag to led by both Tallinn and Munich Motorsport. Good management by the track officials.
And Milano also completing driver change and also back on track. And I just love how fast these cars rejoin the track immediately, wasting no time at all, getting to know the track or whatever.
Yeah, we kind of have 4 groups of 2 running, but not for long because Leuven comes in completing the endurance. Congratulations, Leuven.
Yeah, well done. They had to manage the car. We saw that from our standpoint here as well. But well done. They managed to bring it home and score a decent amount of points on the endurance. New car on track. Amberg aka Running Snail, about to join the endurance for the first time. Car number 1, 2, 3. I think they are ready. Marshall's just waiting for a gap to release them.
Approaching on the Bern car, not quite there yet, but it's just a matter of time. Last lap time being given to the Bern car, so we'll still get an overtaking, depending on how far that is.
And the Amberg Weiden car, Running Snail, finally getting the green flag, joining us on the track. And we see a meatball flag being prepared. Not sure who that might be for.
Yes, it seems like I heard someone say car 121. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
1-3-1, Mickey.
Oh, sorry. Again, but it's a good thing that we are a team here because we can correct each other if we say something stupid. No problem.
And that'll be the car from Munich Motorsport. But first, the last lap sign is shown to car 124 from Tallinn. Last lap before the driver change. And not sure what the issue might be with the car from Munich. The brake light at the very least is working fine.
No, I'm looking at the side pod. Something loose with that car.
Munich Motorsport coming in with the meatball flag as Milan goes around them very quickly.
Yeah,
and meanwhile, finish flag being waved for Bern. Is that them completing the endurance? Yes, it is. Congratulations, Bern.
And we are also joined by Eindhoven now on the track. They just entered track right before the Prague car. They will have to speed up a little bit because that Prague car is absolutely flying.
Yeah, I can. We spotted it earlier a little bit, but actually the side pod of the Munich car seems to be quite loose. And I'm not sure whether it's actually deemed as a serious situation. Well, it can be serious if it completely detaches and lands on the track. But so far, the scrutineers are looking at it.
And Tallinn will be making their way towards you, Mickey, because they are in the driver change.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation for the scrutineers because the side pod is not completely loose, but if if it comes loose on the track and it lands on the track, there might be a dangerous situation. So this is a very tough decision for the scrutineers to make. So they will take their time. If they allow the car to go back, then obviously the time will be corrected for them. But at the moment, that's not certain.
And the car from Eindhoven, meanwhile, going not quite as quickly as all the others, setting an 87 on their first lap. Surely they will also be aiming for the sub-80 seconds time range. And this is their first driver, Tim van Riel, also known as Pibble.
Yeah, and they were already overtaken on their first lap by Prague, and I think they're now indeed again in the blue zone because Amberg is going past them. Of course, it's their first lap. Maybe they're still warming up, or as with Leuven, they don't have any regen yet. So let's see if they can speed up a little bit.
Just a little bit more info on the team from Eindhoven. They say that they started a trumpet band with the main hoops and front hoops after finding out you can use them as a horn. And their chassis manager is posting an advertisement looking for some nice ladies that want to gap with him about the SES.
Still no definite decision on the car from Munich, car number 131. I know that scrutineers do want to make the best decision possible for the team, but also keeping in mind that safety is of utmost importance for everybody. So still no decision there.
And just one more bit of info on the team from Eindhoven. They would like to give a shout out to Wouter Doelman. One of their most valued alumni. He spent a lot of time in the past year getting the QRE 14, one of the historic cups, one of the historic cars present here from Eindhoven. Sadly, he has been in the hospital for the past 3 days and unable to join FSG to experience it along with the team. So, yeah, Eindhoven giving a shout out for Wouter.
And the Berlin car was given the last lap sign, so this is the last lap for the first driver. So they will be making their way into the pits very soon. Yeah, that Prague car looks really planted. What kind of lap times are they doing, Igor?
The second driver has been speeding up consistently. Started off with an 81.2, but now on the last lap a 78.1.
Wow, if you can do that consistently, that's very impressive.
The fastest time we've seen so far in the second session was actually from Milan, is 73.6.
And our little beehive, the team from Berlin, successfully completes their first part of the endurance. And as I say, that Tallinn is ready to start their second part. So they had a successful driver change.
Well, we have good news for Munich after long deliberation between the scrutineers. I think they made a decision to let the Munich car go out on track. So this is good news for now, but I think they will keep an eye on the Munich car just to make sure that the side pod will not fly off. They don't want to have it flying off and hitting anybody in the head, for example. So they will be keeping a strict eye on it.
Indeed, very fortunate for Munich as they only had 3 more laps to go. Meanwhile, Vienna has started their penultimate lap, lap number 17. Prague and Milan both on lap 16. So about to see a big flourish of successful finishes.
And I had a closer look at the Milan car, and indeed they are driving super clean but super fast. Are they still lapping those top times you mentioned before, Igor?
Yeah, not quite as fast as their fastest. The last lap was a 76.7, but that is still near the top of the range of the teams we've seen so far.
The Eindhoven car clearly on a speed limiter here on the straight, so they are saving some energy. The driver unfortunately has not heard of lift and coast yet. Maybe that's for next year.
Well, even with that, they are doing an 81.9, having started on an 87. So the Eindhoven driver also finding their legs and speeding up lap by lap.
And I think we are preparing for Vienna, who is this their last lap? Will they be flagged in or?
No, this is about to be their last lap. I see lap 17.
I mentioned the motor, but this is indeed their last lap. The driver acknowledging the marshal here, showing it to him. Very nice to see. And yeah, quite an impressive pace so far.
Yeah, we see Prague a little bit behind Amberg there. They should also be shown the last lap sign.
Indeed, actually they got overtaken by Amberg, so they must have lost some space somewhere. They are definitely going slower than they were before the Prague car. So
indeed, the last lap a little bit slower, 4 seconds, but I think that could be explained by having to let by Amberg who are going very quickly indeed. All of their times have been sub 80 seconds.
And Munich is driving a lot more careful now after their little check. Eindhoven is even catching up with them. I think they were going pretty quickly before, but now with the side pod, which is a bit in an odd position, doing a bit more careful. Last lap for Milano meanwhile, and they're going so quick. Losing it in the Krone Killer chicane because they're chasing Tallinn so badly.
Yes, I would call that Italian driving style. A little bit wild, but actually quite spectacular.
I think he got distracted by the last lap sign and Tallinn in front of him because it was pretty neat before. Too bad, hitting 3 cones in a single corner. And this time, sorry to interrupt, but it's Vienna that is coming across the line to finish their endurance. Congratulations to the team from Wien. They successfully completed without any issues as far as we could see.
Yeah, this is definitely a big win for the team.
Yeah, nice one.
And now we have car number 42 from Prague, also waiting for the checkered flag and finishing their endurance. Congratulations, Prague.
Did you say the checkered flag?
Yes, nice one, guys. You guys on a roll.
You've taught us well, Mickey.
We are having a little traffic jam. Munich is holding up Milano and Tallinn, so looks like Milano also managed to overtake Tallinn. This might get complex because Milano is on their final lap, but looks like the scrutineers will manage well. Tallinn needs to be careful now, indeed, because Milano is coming in and slowing down.
And Milano coming in fact, to finish their endurance run. Congratulations, Milan.
Wow, that's so quick. We have to keep up. Before you know it, they are in the driver change or finishing endurance. So good thing that Yegor is keeping an eye on the timing sheet, because we don't always know whether it's driver change or finishing endurance, but well done indeed.
And in fact, provisionally for Milan, that was the new fastest endurance time. Finally, we have somebody going faster than Trondheim this morning. I believe they were faster by about 20 seconds overall.
yeah, Trondheim was really held up. They had a really bad overcall, so I had to start with all the, let's say, slower cars. Too bad for them, and but nice to see that finally we're at the level of cars that can beat us. And I hear a bit of scraping from Eindhoven. Their whole side cut is flying.
They are getting a meatball flag as well. Definitely the side post is loose. We can see it wiggling from where we are as well. So that's all that looks really loose.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a few orders of magnitude worse than what we saw in the Munich car.
Well, speaking of the Munich car, they are about to come into the pits as well, but that for them will be the finish. So just a couple of corners left.
Here we go with TU Munich on track as well. One of the faster cars yesterday. Well, here we go. UAS Munich finishing the endurance after the drama with the side pod, actually managing to take the car home. Good decision by the scrutineers, I would say, to let them drive and trying to finish endurance. And nothing really happened, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, we've had Amberg OTH come in for the driver change. We've also missed car number 95 from Chalmers joining us on the track. And lining up on the starting line is car number 85 from Delft, which is, I believe, the last of the regular order runners before the final 5.
Yeah, let's keep a closer look now on the times, because I would expect TU Fast to go very quickly. But also Delft, they are looking to prove themselves. All the course was suboptimal, but here they can really show what they are worth.
Also looking at the DRS, was opened into the 2 kinkies. Yeah, so that's also probably activated by the brake pedal. Unfortunately, we hear on the radio that the loose side pod from Eindhoven seems to be fatal for them, meaning that they are confirmed DNF. Probably the scrutineers, unlike with the Munich car, deemed the situation too dangerous for them to continue. So unfortunately for Eindhoven, that's a DNF for them.
Just looking at the times, Chalmers and TU Fast have both completed their first laps, 2 laps already in the case of Chalmers. Both in the low 80s, 80.2 for both of the cars. So not quite the quickest we've seen today. Probably some energy conservation going on. Drivers also taking their time to feel out the track.
Yeah, but the TU Fast car seems to be a handful. The driver is fighting it, as we would call it, very jerky motions. Going left, right, brake, throttle, everything combined. So hopefully he or she can smooth that out a little bit. And Delft across the line. Can you give us an update, Igor?
Yeah, it is a good first time, 79.5. Of course, the Delft driver got that out at a very opportune time. They did not have any obstructions, any other cars on the track. So they are able to find their pace and find their way very nicely with no distractions.
Yeah, and just a big compliment to these teams, because this part of the endurance, this group is so fast that it didn't take a long time to finish this group at all. Delft is already the last one before the final 5. So we've had 23 cars already being put on the track in some way or form. So that's actually a very good and high level of competition between these teams.
And just to give some information on the cars running right now, car number 95 from Chalmers, their drivers are Tim Albertson, also known as Yuki Tsunoda at home, and Alexander Vig, called Wiggly Wiggy. And Chalmers would also like to give out a shout out to Bjorn and Stefan Körfer Faan. I'm probably butchering the Swedish pronunciation there, but I'm sure the viewers at home will understand who that is referring to and what it means. I think meanwhile car number 123 from Amberg OTH has made it out of the driver swap and just waiting for the green flag.
And how are the lap times in the meantime looking for TU Fast and Delft? Are they settling into their rhythms?
Yeah, TU Fast improving by quite a bit, over 3-second improvement, 77.1. Delft also improving by 3 seconds to a 76.9, and Chalmers also started out with an 87, now on a 78.
Wow, those teams are very close comparison in lap times, right? All within 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds, all three of them, or four of them even.
Indeed, all very close. Amberg so far has been the fastest of the current runners. Their last lap before the driver change was 74.9. Let's see if the other teams can catch up to them.
Wow, they really do honor to their name of running snail. It's not strolling or walking snail, but actually sprinting or running snail. That's a good name for them.
And for car number 31, they've listed two of their drivers here in the commentary form, but we don't know what order they are running in because the team itself did not know at the time. But the two drivers are Jonas Spinala-Voitzik and Luca Reichenfelser.
Yeah, and Tallinn being shown the last lap sign. So I think that's actually in the 17th lap, right? Because I've seen them in driver change. So yeah, last lap for Tallinn. Those final and most nail-biting 1.2 kilometers.
Yeah, the two drivers from Tallinn were Marko Muru and Harry Aus, putting in very impressive times, also dipping down into the 75s at a certain point, very near the finish.
And the new car on track, TU Dresden.
Interesting, they must have slightly missed their slot, I think, because Delft was the last one in this session.
Indeed, just a little bit. They were supposed to be car number 63 in the order and Delft 65, so they have been just a little bit later than we expected to see them. And looking at the running order for session B, we have also not yet seen High-Speed Karlsruhe, we have not yet seen Weingarten, and we have not yet seen KIT Karlsruhe. So neither of the Karlsruhes and Weingarten still expected to appear at some point.
And Tallinn across the finish line, they finished their endurance, I think with a very impressive time. Well done by the Tallinn team. You can be very happy. The TU fast driver is getting a little bit of hang of it of how the car drives, but still it does look a little bit clunky. Very fast to the first of the kinks.
No, indeed, still looking very quick. Both Delft and TU Fast posting times under 80 seconds, but both of them were fastest on their second lap and have since not quite improved.
Yeah, that does make sense if they also need to do some energy saving. Meanwhile, the Delft car is now very close to the Chalmers car, driving with their DRS open while they are following the Chalmers car. They are hoping to get it. Yeah, the Chalmers car has been giving a blue flag, so Delft will fly past.
And just to give an update on the overall times, provisionally it is now actually Tallinn who are fastest overall with 1,415 seconds.
Yeah, look, the Delft car with the DRS open in the first of the Kings. Wow.
Yeah, actually that little slowdown behind Chalmers did not slow them down too much. They were still at a 78.7.
Yes, and just looking at the queue, guys, you mentioned you're missing a couple of cars, right, Igor? But I see two Karlsruhe cars. So UAS Karlsruhe and the KIT car just brotherly behind each other in the queue, waiting to get ready and joining this part of endurance.
And I'll be very curious to see how the lap times of Dresden are going, because they are really pushing it, not really lifting on the straights.
Yeah, it is an 80.6 on their first lap, so comparable to the rest of the fast runners we're seeing right now. And I'm sure they'll be hoping to improve.
And this is something, now we see a situation with Amberg who is pushing and pushing without any brakes on. And we had this chat earlier with Matthias, right? That some cars need to do some battery management or heat management. And some cars, they can just push flat out and don't worry about those things. That's something I think we are seeing with the Delft car, for example, who obviously has to, the driver has obviously manage something in relation to the Amberg team that is, well, keep pushing. And that's about 4 seconds a lap.
Yeah, it depends, but of course we don't know how they will finish, although Amberg is on their way to, yeah, definitely already in their second stint, not sure what lap they currently are. But it is indeed weird that some of these cars manage to get going. They run maybe with a heavier accumulator, making them slower on their events. It's a strategy that they can pick. Last lap for the Berlin car in the meantime. Yeah, but Amberg Weiden is also lift and coast on the straight, or at least in a speed limiter, so they're just going very fast.
Yeah, they're going very fast, but actually in this second stint, they are on average, I would say, going equally as fast as Delft, maybe even a little bit slower. In the first stint, indeed, it was full send, 75s and 76s, even 74s, all across the board. And now we have Elfloras Dresden, on their third lap they improved by 3 seconds, 77.5.
Okay, so then maybe it's only perception that Amberg Weiden is going very quick, but it could also mean the others. And across the finish line is Chalmers. That is for their driver change, I presume. So successfully completing the first part.
And also a last lap sign being given to TU Munich while we are waiting for the Berlin car, which is on the final straight in the final chicane as well, over the line and finishing endurance car number 313 Berlin. Well done, guys. Excellent performance.
Yeah, they also even managed to set their fastest time on the final lap, 78.9.
Yeah, and this is also clearly another level of drivers because they're all very clean. I do not see many cones being clipped. So that is nice to see. A cone is of course 2 seconds. That is a lot of time. So if you start hitting a few, then it really adds up. And Delft driving with the DRS open as much as possible, saving every little bit of energy. And they are given the last lap sign. So this will be the last lap for Max, who is I think their first driver. Next up will be Gabor.
And it's very consistent times across the board for Delft. From their second lap, they have only had a variance of about 1 second, from 76.8 to 77.8. Very similar and consistent times for Dresden now as well, 78, 77, 76.
And across the line goes TU fast, successfully completing the first part of the endurance, and they are on to the driver change.
Yeah, very similar times overall here for Dresden, Delft and Munich. Chalmers was a little bit slower in the second half. They started going into the mid to high 80s. Amberg Weiden also running very similar to too fast Delft and Elfloras in the 78-77 second range.
And I see a finish flag. That will be for the Delft car. Last corners for the driver Max. Successfully completing the first part, and they make their way to the pit.
And he actually sets his fastest lap on lap number 9, 76.6.
Yeah, we have a situation now that we have 3 cars in the driver change area, doing all the driver swaps. Correction, 2 left because Chalmers has just left the building. But anyway, Chalmers about to re-enter the endurance. And in the meantime, Amberg Weiden still going strong, really being able to push that car to the limit, not having to, well, seemingly not having to manage any heat or battery issues. It's really nice to see that they can do that. Also Dresden not holding back. I can see the driver having a tough time to keep the helmet going from side to side, but it looks pretty good from our viewpoint here.
Yeah, Dresden did in fact speed up quite a bit, now down into the 75s for their first time.
Looks like the driver had a look at the dashboard, got all the green lights and said, okay, let's see what this car can do, what I can do with it, and show something else.
In the meantime, TU Fast and Delft are doing a quasi-simultaneously and in-sync driver change. Both new drivers, the second drivers, are already in the car and being strapped in. All seems to be under control. I also see no angry faces from the scrutineers, so we should be expecting them very soon on the track.
Quasi-simultaneous in-sync driver change, Matthias?
Yes, that's a new very popular term often used here at FSG.
Well, it's the first time I've heard it, but maybe I've been missing out on the new slang.
I'll see if I can catch one of the drivers and get a word on how it is going, but I also need to be careful because there is a car coming just in front of me.
Yeah, so only 2 cars out on track at the moment. A little bit of a calmer period. We are still waiting for the 2 cars from Karlsruhe to join us. Not sure why they're being held up quite so long. The team seem to be doing some final preparations. As TU Fast gets the green flag and sets off on their second half of the endurance.
Yeah, in the meantime, we're just waiting for Matthias to give an interview. But first, please wait a little bit, Matthias, because we have a car finishing. And I think that's the car from Amberg Weiden. Is that finishing?
Yes, indeed.
That was
that was their final lap and the new fastest time, 1400 seconds exactly.
Ah, well done. Go ahead, Matthias. You can do the interview now.
Perfect. Yes, I have Max here with me, who did the first stint for the Delft car. He seems to be quite a happy driver, and I'll try to get a few words. He's just grabbing a dynamic vest. So Max, you had a very good first stint, super consistent. We also saw some corners with DRS on. What can you share about your first run with us?
Yeah, it felt really good. The car was nice and controllable. I was trying to find out where I could DRS and still get away with it, just to save a bit more energy. I found out that there's quite a lot of corners that you can still take with a DRS. At some point I had a bit of a moment where I was stuck behind the Chalmers car, so I just decided to keep it open permanently, just to save even more energy. Yeah, really happy with the pace and the way that the car was feeling. So let's get it, Gabor. You finish it, boy.
Nice, and I see a very happy face on Max. We did see indeed that moment you were behind Chalmers with the DRS open. Lovely to see. And yeah, fingers crossed they can finish it in the same fashion as Max did. Over to you, Igor and Mickey.
Yes, thank you. Actually, not much going on here. We have 3 cars running, if my eyes don't deceive me, and my math can take me up to 3. At the moment, we don't see any other cars also in queue left, other than obviously the final 5 that will be put on track, and immediately, well, almost immediately after that, the Historic Cup participants. So now we have 3 cars left. And let me give you a rundown on how many laps they have done. Delft has just completed 10 laps. I think Munich has just completed 11 laps. Chalmers has completed 12 laps. So they have quite some laps to go. 7, let's say 7 to 5 to 7 laps for these 3 cars.
And how are their times looking for the second drivers, Mickey?
Yes, I was also just having a bit of an analysis. Chalmers is definitely speeding up. This lap was a 76. Previous driver did 78, but was slowing down actually. So they do have a bit more energy or power to play with now. It seems also Munich matching the time from the previous driver already on the second lap. From Delft, we do not have an update yet. The first lap was an 80.7, so getting into that rhythm. So yeah, everyone seems to be running in the 76s. If Delft can follow this pace now, then they're all running at more or less the same pace. Did Delft have an issue? Because this lap was an 83.2.
Yeah, I saw the driver coming past the start-finish line. he was tapping his left ear, probably meaning he doesn't have a radio or can't hear the team, or it's constantly open, so maybe they have some kind of communication issues. I'm not sure what that meant, but he was tapping his left ear quite predominantly, so we could see it as well. Let's hope the issue is not serious, and also just a little bit of distraction. Well, that would maybe explain the lap time from Delft.
Yeah, looking at the sector times, it does still seem like Delft has some kind of issue. It is going a bit slower than in the first stint.
Bottoming also quite hard in the Broken Dream section. Doing the same in the horseshoe. I don't think that's anything wrong with the car. I think that's a design feature. Anyway, it doesn't look like that the driver is pushing real hard. He's not making any signs anymore, so maybe it's just settling in.
Yeah, or conserving some energy. We do not know what state of charge they have or how hard Gabor can push. So we'll have to ask them afterwards. Yeah, Munich and Chalmers perfectly in sync, both lapping in the 76s. Dresden, oh yeah, was a DNF unfortunately. So indeed, 3 cars on track.
Yeah, these electric cars and these drivers are so smooth. It's almost wiggling us into sleep. So there's not much to actually report on track because these drivers are so consistent and so steady. I don't see cones being collected or carried or kicked out of the way. Even the bottoming, it's getting less and less. I think the drivers know where the bumps are and trying to keep the car in one piece to finish endurance. But it shouldn't take that long before we have the first finisher. I think looking at Chalmers, they are about to complete the 16th lap, meaning that they have 2 more laps after this one.
I did see the driver from Delft doing some signaling to its team members, so I'll have a look what they are signaling to them. Sorry, what the team is signaling to Gabor, to the driver. Maybe we can extract if he or he should go quicker or slower.
Maybe he doesn't have information on the dashboard, so he doesn't know whether he can push or not. So maybe he wants to have some confirmation from the team. Hopefully they have telemetry and they have a bit more information for him to yeah. And I see that one of the team members putting both hands up, meaning go faster, Gabor. You have more than enough energy. Your temperature is okay, so please go ahead and push.
Yeah, but because they are getting overtaken by TU Fast at this pace, they're both into horseshoe now, Broken Dreams and now horseshoe, so they might get the blue flag in the first sector.
Yeah, I can see the driver looking at the team, and they are all pointing up. Go ahead, push. Yeah, I think he understood the message. Well done. Some really nice communication between the team and the driver.
Yeah, there was instant feedback, immediately going on throttle, and I think he's actually driving away again from the TU Fast car, so it seemed to be a communication issue indeed. Yeah, and they're driving away again. Lovely. TU Fast now coming back, and unfortunately Delft is being sent into the blue flag region. Can they now follow? I think actually, given that Delft was just given the hurry up, they might be able. Let's see how this one plays out.
And let's not underestimate the Munich car. Also very quick driver-car combination. So if Delft can manage to keep at least within range of the car, they're doing an excellent job already. But you can see how fast Munich is. But they're just too fast for Delft at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. In the last sector, they put in quite some time in the Delft car, so good decision to let them through.
Yeah, and again, team signaling the driver, go, go, don't hold back, keep pushing. I'm pretty sure Gabor is doing everything he can.
Yeah, it seems in the meanwhile something happened to car number 59 from Dresden. We must have missed it in all the other excitement that was going on the track. Chalmers, meanwhile, do finish their endurance, completing all 18 laps. Congratulations, number 95.
So we have the final two cars on track, Munich and Delft, but they don't have a lot of laps left either. I think the first one will be Munich. This is their 17th lap, and Delft is on their 16th lap.
UFA has been given the last lap sign, so it's the last moment they can enjoy this track, but they have been going very fast indeed across this endurance.
Yeah, and Delft not letting the gap increase too much. I think Gabor is doing an excellent job keeping pace with Munich.
Indeed, he seems to have finally gotten the message, and now he's also lapping in the 76s.
Better late than never. How many laps is he still? He can still do 2 more laps from Delft, so they are running 1 lap behind TU fast car.
Yeah, exactly. TU Munich on the final lap of the endurance. What endurance so far from these teams, right? Also a very high finishing rate, as far as I can tell. Maybe even beating the morning session. Although we missed some of the DNFs, I'm pretty sure a lot of them finished. Munich, in the meantime, yeah, I actually see the gap decreasing just a little bit. Probably Munich has to save a little bit of energy, because I do see them slowing down a little bit. But that doesn't matter, because they're in the final slingshot onto the final straight and into the final corner, taking it very easy, no more risk, taking the checkered flag and finishing endurance. TU Munich, well done.
Last lap for Delft meanwhile, and Gabor is absolutely pushing the car to the limit, so
yeah, and he improves once again into the 75s now.
Yeah, they are not doing their saving to get home, they are really pushing it.
They did that on the first couple of laps, while Gabor probably didn't know what kind of battery he still had left. So I think that was a good strategy to take it a little bit easier, ask communication from the team, and now pushing all the way through into the final lap.
Yeah, the total time from Munich, meanwhile, was a new best, 13:91.
If I can remember correctly, that's 9 seconds faster, right? Because you told me something about 1400 seconds exactly from the previous fastest time.
Indeed, 9 seconds faster than Amberg OTH. Delft, given their power saving in the second half of the endurance, will probably not be quite as fast, but still be up there in the low 1400s.
And this is looking like a good lap, so I'm curious what they will bring out for the last lap. Usually electrics, they slow down, but here they did it the opposite way, which is actually quite nice for the show, I have to say. And across the finish line goes the car from Delft, 85, successfully completing the endurance with a very decent time.
Yeah, indeed, it is a 75.2 on the last lap and 14:16 overall. I believe that is good enough provisionally for 4th place.
Yes, and if we look at possible cones, these drivers have driven so well. I don't think the cones will be that big a difference. Obviously, 1 or 2 cones can't be ruled out altogether, but still, these drivers have done a great job navigating this track. And that was the final car of the Group B, right guys? So this means that we will be getting ready, maybe after a short break, we'll be getting ready for the final 5.
Yeah, we were indeed hoping to see, as you mentioned, Mickey, the two Karlsruhes. You said they were in the queue, but potentially because they came in too late, they will be running out of order after the final 5.
Well, actually, yeah, you're right, Diego, because I do see the two cars being in the queue, but I also see the UAS Esslingen car also in the queue, but that's already historic, right? Or not? Is that no, that's the electric modern car, sorry.
Yeah, it depends a little bit on the powertrain. Maybe just to give a rundown, the final 5 that we will have joining us will be DHBW Stuttgart, TU Stuttgart, Esslingen, Zurich and Aachen.
Yeah, the Esslingen cars, they look very similar, and this one is the one from the current competition.
Yeah, I keep confusing them. But yeah, we see at least, I think we see the 3 cars, Esslingen, Stuttgart and the HBW in the line. So we have accounted for 3 of the final 5. And
behind them is already...
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
But there are a lot of people in front of there.
So it looks like we have a complete final 5 cars. In fact, as we speak, the cars are being pushed forward. So the action will continue momentarily.
Yeah, and Mickey, maybe you can explain what the final 5 is, but also I think you saw the origin of the final 5. So I think it might be very interesting for the viewers to get an idea.
Yeah, definitely. So before 2008, and that's a long time ago, there was no final 5 or some kind of grand finale. But in 2008 there was a situation that one of the last cars blew an engine. So that means that the final 3, this was the final 3, had to wait until the track got cleaned. And then they were released all together as sort of a grand finale. And that was quite a show, very spectacular. And after that it stuck and they made it final 5 to give the audience a bit of a show.
Yeah, and because they are launched onto the track at the same lap, we see very well relatively how they are performing. They will also come into the driver change more or less at the same time and also finish more or less at the same time, which is extremely cool to see. So as we are speaking, as we speak I should say, all the cars are getting into their slots next to each other, which also is a very nice opportunity to take some really cool pictures because they will align all the heads of the drivers or the noses of the cars, and they will all get ready at more or less the same time.
Well, Matthias, I noticed you walking around, well, looking at the wings of the cars. I'm standing just in front of them because I think that gives me a better view. Maybe we can speculate and talk about the cars a little bit before we get out in the action. This is our moment to look at the cars up close and personal. If I look at the cars, what's the similarities between all these cars, Matthias?
Well, the easy answer is they all have wings, a lot of them, very detailed wings, so there's a lot of little quirks on the end plates and so on. What else can we find? They're all running the Hoosier tire, also the Zurich car who is now making its way. What else can we identify that is similar to them?
Yeah, I would say a little bit, maybe it's a corny remark, but the level of detail, attention to detail, everything has been thought of. And all these cars have a lot of detail going on the cars, and a lot of engineering. They don't take anything for granted. They don't take, well, they do all the effort to make the car better. And if you can look at, for example, the Zurich car has even a fan installed for the driver, very similar to the Formula One teams as well. And yeah, it's just really amazing to see how much engineering detail is going into these cars.
I was also having a look at the steering wheels as a personal interest, but all these steering wheels, they look very fancy. They all have buttons on there, probably to quickly change various settings. So if they are running low on energy or have a bit more energy, as we also saw with some cars, they can probably tune it up or down from their steering wheel.
And if we compare the, let's say, the performance of yesterday, there's one car that really stood out, right, Matthias? It was the Aachen car, well, blowing the competition out of the water. And if I look at the car, and I really love this front wing. It's so intricate. There's, I don't know how much wind tunnel time or analysis has gone into this wing, but it's just it's ridiculous. And if I compare this to the other cars, they have such a different style layout of the wing. If I compare that, for example, to the Zurich car, they still have a sort of a similar configuration, but other than the two uprights on the wing, that's the only similarities that they have. But yeah, a lot of attention to the aerodynamics.
Indeed, very complex front wing. Also the bull wing really looks like a bull. The same we see a bit on the Zurich car. They all have a double rear wing as well. I'm just looking at DHBW Stuttgart,
yeah,
if that is the case for them as well.
So
that seems to be a very popular concept as well. They all have these little winglets that try to guide the airflow around the front tires.
And also, let's not forget, the wings are one thing, but the undertray, that's something we cannot see, obviously. And in Formula One, that's one of the best guarded secrets, right? How the undertray looks like, what kind of ducts and tricks are incorporated into the tray. But all of them have some kind of undertray sucking the airflow out of beneath the car, so it will suck the car to the ground. And especially the Aachen car, the way it went into the double kink, the two kinky corner was just so tight and so fast. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, so I think in terms of speed, the Aachen and Zurich car are definitely the fastest. But endurance is all about speed over time. You also need to be able to maintain it. We do not know what kind of energy levels they are running, so that will be very interesting to see. First of all, how quick they go in the first stint, and if they can keep up with that pace. And of course, let's hope that they can all finish without any issues. That is first and foremost the most crucial or important thing. I do hear a lot of official talk, so I do have the feeling that we are potentially in the way, because
we'll just take a step back before we get a Formula Student car driving over our toes or worse. And those wings do look a bit mean if they come into contact with my shins. So I really don't want to do that. So yeah, I think the track is ready. Marshals are ready. So let the final 5 begin.
Indeed, all the cars are being made ready at exactly the same time. I'm curious, I would think that the DHBW Stuttgart would be the first one that will be sent on track, and yes it is. So they will bring on the opener of this final 5. After that, I assume we will have the Esslingen car, followed by Ren Team Stuttgart, Zurich, and finally Aachen. Let's hope we can all get them started on the same lap. That should work, but you never know if logistically it doesn't quite play out.
Well, the teams, the organization managed to send out 8 teams at the time, and there we go, first car on track.
And immediately followed by Esslingen, that's making its way to the starting point. And away they go. And right in front of us is Ren team from Stuttgart, also making its way. And off they go. Zurich is next, and then as a final one we'll have Aachen. And then I'm very curious about the first lap times. Maybe in the sectors we can already do a little bit of speculation.
Yeah, it will be all about energy saving, right? And battery management, heat management. Autocross is one thing, but we already noticed on track that the fastest cars on autocross are not necessarily the fastest cars in endurance.
No, indeed, going fast for one lap is easy, but doing that for 18, that's a whole different challenge.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the first sector times for the first 4 cars. They're all within half a second of each other.
Yeah, so we have a proper battle on our hands, as we should have for the final 5.
Oh, DHBW Stuttgart immediately in the horseshoe, already sliding around. Tires still cold. So they will be the first one to set the benchmark. Collecting a lot of cones here on the last track. Rebuilding the track. There's a cone in the middle of the way that will bother Esslingen. How do we cope with that? Driving around it, very neatly done by the driver.
It is a 77 from DHBW, a 76.0 from Esslingen.
Wow, those are very quick first lap times.
76.8 from Green Team, Ren Team. They do pick up that cone though and take it with them. 74 from AMZ.
Okay, so far AMZ 2 or 3 seconds quicker than the others. And then let's see.
And just looking at Aachen, not looking fast, but then again, it didn't look all that fast yesterday, but it was. Not sure what the first lap time is from Aachen is.
It is actually the slowest one of the 5 so far, 78.9.
Of course, the first lap, that's only one metric. There are many more laps to come, so let's see how they first improve and what kind of lap times they settle into. A lot cleaner now from the DHBW Stuttgart driver in the horseshoe this time. Also managing to get it stopped in time for the last corner. It was quite different in the first lap.
And it is a small improvement, a 76.6. Esslingen also improving, also down into the 74s.
Yeah, now we know why these cars are the top 5, right? There's no doubt that these cars are the top of the class this year. Oh, it looks like Stuttgart had some kind of issue very slowly into the Conquilor chicane. Closely followed already by Zurich. I think Zurich is catching Stuttgart quite rapidly.
Yeah, they are going 2 seconds a lap quicker. They did not improve on their second lap, but still in the low 74s.
Yeah, but the Ren team came to a full stop here just in front of us, so maybe resetting something was pretty odd. So I'm actually quite impressed that they're still so quick, even though they have some issue.
Yeah, it looks like Aachen is just a little bit slower than the other ones still.
Yeah, they are indeed slowing down. They're in the 80s now, 80.8.
Yeah, there we go. Being fastest on autocross does not necessarily mean you're the fastest on the endurance, but this could be strategy as well. Maybe having to manage the battery situation just a little bit, and then maybe for the second part of endurance, or even earlier than that, putting the pedal to the metal.
Potentially, as the DHBW Stuttgart, they improve into the 74s. Esslingen improves yet again to 74.1. I think we'll be seeing times in the 73 soon.
And Zurich is moving ever closer to the Green team. Oh, they come to a full stop. This was a very dangerous situation.
Oh,
not sure.
My heart stopped for a moment.
Very weird. And no blue flag, funnily enough.
Oh,
Zurich being stuck now behind the Ren team.
There's something definitely going on with the Ren team. So if I were the Zurich driver, I would keep a little bit of distance, not too much, because then you will not get the blue flag, but just keep enough distance to be able to brake, because there's something going on with the Ren team car. But they have been overtaken now by Zurich, so well done by the marshals. And now Zurich can really put the pedal to the metal and show what kind of pace they can get.
Yeah, and Aachen meanwhile seem to have found their pace. They're now 73.8, the fastest lap time of the final 5.
Well, there you go. Strategy, indeed.
Could also be the whole regen thing we spoke earlier about. Maybe in the first 2 laps they did not have any regen, and finally now they can dial it up and bring the car to its normal balance.
The HBW improving yet again, 74.7. Esslingen also improving 73.992.
Wow, this is going pretty well for all the teams here now. And that you can see the difference now with the Aachen car compared to the first 2 laps. The acceleration is much more aggressive. The steering is much more aggressive. Everything is much more aggressive. And Stuttgart again stopping in a cone killer chicane. There must be something with the controls, because again, every time the driver touches the brake, something seems to be happening to the controls.
Yeah, despite those slowdowns,
I see a car being stranded or people running. I'm not sure which one that is. I think we're missing Esslingen. So I would guess it's them being stranded. Zurich passes by and Esslingen gets going again.
Yeah, looks like whatever situation they had, it has been resolved. But they're just trailing behind Zurich right now. Zurich really getting the pace up. Oh, the HBW Stuttgart almost losing it in the cone killer chicane.
Yeah, and it does look like Esslingen can keep up with the pace of Zurich, at least for the middle sector so far, even though they had this little issue. And also Stuttgart, despite their stoppages, they're still pretty quick nonetheless.
In the meantime, what kind of evolution do we see in the lap times from Aachen, for example?
Yeah, Aachen not quite as fast on their final lap. They were 5 seconds slower, but I think that's because they got shown the yellow flag due to the delay from Esslingen, who were 22 seconds slower than their final lap. But everyone's best is very, very close into the 74s and 73s. Only Green Team, Ren Team Stuttgart are yet to reach the 75-second barrier.
Yeah.
But even with the issues they're having, they're still in the high 70s.
Again, I'm seeing some kind of management from Aachen, Diego, because definitely they're not as fast as the previous 2 laps. I can see it visually from here, especially on the final straight. They were not flat out. So I'm not sure whether they have to manage it again to be in the green zone, let's say. We don't know what the telemetry is saying, what the data acquisition on the dashboard is saying to the driver, but it definitely is a bit slower than the previous laps.
No, you're absolutely right, Mickey. Almost 10 seconds slower than their fastest lap. It was an 82.4. AMZ, meanwhile, have never gone into the 76s, always staying under them. And the 71.332, our new fastest single lap time for the day.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that took a while before someone finally broke the time from Trondheim. And again, Ren team giving a little scare to the marshals, who already start sprinting every time.
Yeah, you can see 4 or 5 marshals starting to sprint whenever the Stuttgart car slows down or suddenly stops, let's say that. They start sprinting, and then after half a second the car gets going again, and then all the marshals will have to return to their position. But it's well, maybe they're doing it on purpose to scare the marshals every now and then.
Very costly joke then. So I would assume that it is to solve some kind of issue. I find it interesting that it's always at the same point. I wonder if it's the driver choosing it deliberately or if it happens at this point.
Well, maybe it's a combination with steering angle and brake actuation or something like that. Something goes wrong. Maybe into safe mode from the car, thinking, oh, something's wrong because I get 2 different inputs. I don't know. But it's always in the same area with the same, well, exactly the same spot in the cone killer chicane. Zurich doesn't mind.
And a lot of lift and coast from the Zurich car, but they're still lightning fast.
Yeah, indeed, Zurich slowing down a little bit, but it's still 72.252. Aachen, although, is going slower, 83.7 on their last lap.
Yes, doing a 7.2 second lap. I will not say that's slowing down.
Yeah.
It's still very fast.
And I think the Stuttgart car is now right behind Aachen. It is keeping its distance, but definitely catching up. So something is wrong with that Aachen car. And Stuttgart are looking to overtake them.
Yeah, and the slowdown from Esslingen was indeed very costly. 112.3 on the last lap from Esslingen.
Yeah, and finally the Aachen car got the blue flag, and also a little bit unlucky because DHBW Stuttgart put a cone just in front of the Aachen car, so they had to navigate that as well. But still not being able to keep up with the Stuttgart car, unfortunately.
Zurich being given the last lap sign. Did they overtake DHBW Stuttgart?
No, not yet.
No.
not yet.
DHBW Stuttgart also got the last lap sign.
I see.
Esslingen, Stuttgart, Aachen.
And actually green team has a cone stuck on a really weird place behind the left rear tire. Red
I
team.
think it's in between some A-arms or something. Yeah, there you go. Last lap. Oh, they start again. The marshal started running due to the sudden stop of Stuttgart.
Yeah, it almost looked like it stopped to show us exactly where the cone was stuck. We got a perfect view here.
Yeah, that's very kind of the driver to show our legendary commentary team where the cone is stuck.
So will Zurich still catch Aachen before they come into the pit? Did Aachen also get the last lap? I don't think so.
No, Aachen are still on lap 8. Esslingen did just start lap 9.
Yeah, so Aachen was the last car to start, right, in the final 5, and they have been caught by a number of cars. So that means they are 1 lap behind, and the first car into the driver change is DHBW Stuttgart.
So now we have Aachen and Zurich coming past the finish line. One is a last lap and one is a finish, or at least finish for this driver. Zurich also successfully completing the first part of the endurance.
Yeah, Aachen did go a little bit quicker on that lap, 82.56. It's incredible to see how in the first couple of sessions that would have been a top time, and here it's enough to get you lapped not once but twice.
Yeah, exactly 10 seconds difference, so 71 second lap, which is blisteringly fast. So yeah, there's no doubt these cars are the top of the class this year.
Also Ren team coming in with still the cone attached on the rear, but they successfully make it through the first section of the endurance. I'll try to have a chat with the driver from Ren team. Maybe he can explain a bit what's going on.
Yeah, maybe you'll have a chat with Esslingen as well to explain their slowdowns. They're about to come into the driver change as well. So just 1 car left on track. Aachen, they're about to enter the slalom. Going neatly through the Broken Dream chicane, slowing down a little bit, going into the horseshoe.
Yeah, and there's another sign of these cars being the top cars in, well, top teams in this field, is the level of calmness and absolutely no panic during the driver change.
Yeah, Nicky, you should see Aachen also coming in for the driver change now. All 5 cars lined up next to each other.
Yes, I have a perfect view of them. Thanks for the heads up. Again, very, very calm team. So these are the teams that have practiced a lot. Obviously, they have tested a lot. They've practiced the driver change. There's absolutely no drama. They don't seem to hurry even. So calm is their manner of acting. So it looks very impressive. Matthias, I think that Matthias tried to do a little interview, but maybe that's not the right time. I don't know.
No, indeed, and actually I think the official is having a little interview with the driver. I think the driver will explain just a little bit what was going on to the officials now. And then with a little bit of luck, I can catch him on the mic.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. If the setting is not right, then we should not push it. But if we have some kind of information, that would be nice. So the first car to complete the driver change is Zurich. So Zurich will be out on track immediately. First car rejoining the endurance for the second part is Zurich.
Yes, indeed, they were the fastest out on the track and fastest out of the driver change as well.
Next up, University of Stuttgart, car number 26, immediately out on track, not wasting any time.
I have the driver, the first driver from Zurich here with me, who was setting blistering time, goes by the name of Lucia. Lucia, how did the first run go for you?
All in all, I would say pretty well. The pace was definitely there in terms of SOC and temperature on target. bit too many cones, but I guess in terms of pace, we should be able to compensate a bit for that. But yeah, not unhappy with that.
Yeah, you were extremely fast, so definitely a very good job done. Let's hope that the second driver can match your pace and you can wrap up the endurance in a nice fashion. Well done.
Yes, in the meantime, Matthias, also DHBW Stuttgart rejoined the track. And now followed by Aachen. Aachen was actually the last one into the driver change area. They're out on track, and I'm just looking at Esslingen. It looks like Esslingen had taken a bit more time to do the driver change. I think that has to do also with the brake pedal adjustment, or the pedal box adjustment, I would say. We know that these teams have sometimes have a similar height in drivers, and they want to make sure that the pedal box is comfortable for both of them. So that means that they need a bit more time to adjust. Normally the teams get 3 minutes to get everything sorted. Usually that's enough, and they have practiced this enough. But still, the last car into the driver change area is still UAS Esslingen. But they seem to be ready as well.
And just to give an indication of the first lap times being done by the second drivers, Renting Stuttgart, they set their fastest time on lap number 10, 75.3. AMZ 2 seconds slower on the first lap of the second driver, 76 versus a 74.
And also the final car of the final 5 has rejoined the endurance for the second part.
The driver from DHBW also just a second slower than the first time from the first driver. Aachen though setting a 73.5, their fastest time on the first lap of the second driver. So perhaps the first driver was saving a little bit of power for the driver for the second half.
That might not be a bad conclusion, Yegor. Still looking at the Stuttgart car, I think we saw a couple of almost runs from the marshal. So whatever gremlin they have, I think it's still persisting. But still they're driving, so that means that they still have a chance of scoring a lot of points in endurance.
I have the driver from Renting with me, so I'll quickly ask how it was going in his first run. It goes by the name Max. Max, how was it going in your first stint with the endurance?
Yeah, I think it was okay. We had some issues with the car, but we don't know what the problem was. Yeah, the conditions in the track were much better than yesterday. Fingers crossed for the second driver.
Yeah, all in all, a good run, and fingers crossed indeed that you can wrap up endurance in a nice fashion. Thank you.
Yes, and also the Aachen car is going strong again. Maybe an update on their lap times?
Yeah, indeed. They sped up by 2/10, setting a new personal best of 73.3. AMZ is lapping in the mid-76s, very consistently from the second driver. Renting is 75.3 and then a 77.2. And now speeding up quite a bit to a 73.8.
Yeah, so definitely now all the battery management and managing the car, that time has passed. I think these drivers are like, okay, we are past the first half, but I see their marshals running, so I do looked like we had a standstill of one of the cars. But the marshals are returning, so I do believe one of the cars stalled for a moment and then got going again. Not sure which car it was.
Yeah, that might have been the Esslingen car again. It seems to get stranded there for a few times already, and they are on their heels. Hot is the Zurich car, so they will be looking to make an overtake anytime soon, unless they can both catch the Aachen car before.
Now the Aachen car seems to be slowing down again somehow, so it's very interesting to see that we can visually see the difference in speed between the really fast lap times and the sort of a slower lap times. And it would be a very strange strategy to save energy for them to do it like this, but we don't know what's happening inside the cockpit, do we?
No, we don't, but I don't think it's energy saving because that was 15 seconds slower than the fastest lap.
Yeah, and they've just been given the blue flag, and Zurich and Esslingen both got passed. We'll be curious to see if the Ren team can also catch up with Aachen now.
One option could also be some kind of safety algorithm in relation to temperature. So maybe there's something that limits the car the moment the temperature is too high on some components. We don't know, maybe it's automatic, maybe the driver does it. But 15 seconds is a lot. It's not just battery management for sure. And on and off again, battery management is sounds a bit illogical.
And I think again the Esslingen car got to a halt on exactly the same spot, holding up Aachen and Green Team for a little bit. Ooh, this is scary. The marshal waving the Aachen car through while Esslingen was still coming. Luckily, the Esslingen driver did all he could to avoid a crash. So kudos to that driver, to be honest.
Yeah, that driver really prevented a major accident. That was unfortunate flagging from the marshal, but in the end these drivers fortunately are professional enough to assess the situation and react in time. So that was a lucky outcome.
It is a complex situation because Esslingen is quicker, but they come to a halt from time to time, so they are jumping over each other constantly.
And that's another slow time for Aachen. The blue flag's really taking their toll. That's 101.2.
And I can see something weird because also on the straights there's a little bit of wiggle while not really being a power. So I'm not sure whether one of the motor controllers is quitting every now and then, making the car that much harder to drive, because I do see the driver having to correct the car on the straights while not being under full power. So maybe Matthias, you can have a look at that as well and maybe give your opinion. I just witnessed it here on the sector 1 just after the cone killer chicane. The driver having to catch the car in a weird fashion.
Yeah, it might have to do with their four-wheel drive system. 4 motors individually controlling all the tires. If then one of the motors starts overheating, it might reduce torque and you get this wiggling, but it is moving a lot slower now with the Aachen car.
The AMZ car also slowing down a little bit, 2 seconds slower than their best times for the second driver.
Grand Team Stuttgart going very smoothly here in the corners just in front of us. They have found their pace. And indeed something wrong. I do have a feeling that maybe one of the motors is missing. Yeah, that could well be. They also had some wheel spin here, something we haven't seen from them before.
And oddly enough, the car was pulling to the right, while you would expect the car to pull to the left because you're coming out of that chicane. So definitely something wrong with the Aachen car. Let's hope they can finish. Well, so far they are still driving and well, unfortunately losing some time on the track. What kind of lap times are they doing?
You know, Aachen have actually managed to speed up in their last lap. It was an 83.5 as opposed to 101.2 before. So the driver is still managing to squeeze as much performance as they can out of the car, but indeed not going as quickly as they were before.
So they're doing a lot of lift and coast, so they are bringing it home. They probably calculated what kind of speeds they need, and this seems to be a very controlled run for them.
Yes, indeed. Whereas in the first half they were doing 74s, 73s, and even 71s. There's not a single time below 75 in their second stint.
Yeah, that's very consistent. Consistency is key. That's very important. And just looking at these cars, I think two of cars already, Zurich and Stuttgart, on their 17th and penultimate lap. So it should not take too long before we have the first finish.
Aachen managing to speed up a little bit again, 80.4.
Yeah, my guess would be that something with the right rear, maybe the motor is not working properly anymore, because indeed on acceleration it's pulling to the right, but under braking it's actually relatively stable. Does Renteam, are they catching up on Zurich? Visually it looks a bit that way. Also Esslingen, I'm very happy to see that they do not have these stoppages anymore and are actually also getting closer and closer to Renteam midfield.
Yeah, Renteam, the last 2 laps, they were in total about 10 seconds faster than AMZ. I don't think they're going quite fast enough to catch up before the finish, as they're both now on their last lap. And Esslingen behind them is also going very quick, consistently in the 75s. And 74s and 73s even.
Yeah, and these drivers are definitely on another level, because I cannot see a single cone being hit actually. So super clean and fast driving by those drivers.
There were some being hit, but that was the first part of the endurance and also the first couple of laps in the second part. But that was all of them in the final chicane. A couple of them were hit, I remember, also in the concular chicane. But that's pretty normal. But still, compared to the other competitors today, they are very clean and fast. And that's the most difficult thing to accomplish.
And Zurich will be the first car that is looking to finish their endurance in the final 5. A few more corners to go into Horseshoe. And then the driver can enjoy slingshot the final time. Also Stuttgart should be on their last lap. And across the finish line, 33 Zurich with a very quick endurance.
Yes,
the quickest we've seen so far.
Just behind them, car number 26, Stuttgart, finishing endurance. Well done.
Yeah, and those two are the two fastest times we've seen on the endurance today. 13:55 from AMZ and a 13:82 from Renti.
And I think also Esslingen might be on their last lap or not?
Not yet.
Not
they took a little bit longer in their
right.
driver change, and they had those two slowdowns of laps 11
you're right.
and 12.
Yep, you're right. They lost a little bit of time in the driver change and the stoppages on track. So Aachen,
but DHBW Stuttgart is on their final corners, I think. They are looking to wrap up the endurance, and congratulations to DHBW Stuttgart car 277 for successfully completing the entire endurance. Well done.
And not quite as fast as AMZ, but only 22 seconds slower than them, 1377 overall.
So already 3 cars finishing endurance in the final 5. That's already pretty good. Pretty good, I would say. Excellent performance from these teams. Just looking at the Esslingen car, who are about to receive the last lap sign. And just on the outer field, coming into the inner field, is also Aachen still going strong. Yeah, there we have it, last lap for Esslingen. So another 75 to 80 seconds before they can see the checkered flag. In the meantime, Aachen still managing some sort of situation with the car. Yeah, Aachen also coming into the horseshoe, into the slingshot. The final straight for them. And into the chicane, really slowing down now. Getting the checkered flag. Aachen finishing endurance, car number 99, the QDX. Well done.
Yeah, clearly running with some kind of issue was Aachen. A bit shame that we couldn't see there. They had one really good lap, right? Of like a 73, but other than that, it seemed to be a car full of certain gremlins. They finished it. That's one of the most important things, and I think still in a very decent time. And as the final car, Esslingen goes across the finish line to successfully finish the endurance. Well done by the team from Esslingen.
Wow, we need to take a breather from that one, don't we guys? Because that was very exciting. There was a lot going on, overtakes, dramas, quick, almost stoppages. I think the marshals got a couple of heart attacks as well due to the Stuttgart team. Aachen obviously not being able to show full potential, just very briefly when they had the quickest time out of nowhere. But yeah, that was great performance from these teams. Yeah, just a great show.
Indeed, amazing to see, and they all made it in the final 5. So that's what I'm particularly happy about. No car that got stranded. So it just goes to show what kind of level we are dealing with this year.
Yes, and that does bring to a close the official competition of FSG 2025. A fantastic performance from all the teams involved. But don't go anywhere, as you can hear in the background. We are about to see some historic cars enter the endurance track as well, and that will definitely be a sight to behold.
Yeah, exactly. So for the audience, don't go anywhere. Don't shut off your YouTube live stream, because we still have dessert of this competition. And what a dessert it is. It's a historic dessert. meaning a lot of different cars, electric cars, combustion cars, going at it, giving us, no doubt, giving us a lot of spectacle to watch. So we'll be here still. We will probably have a small break until all the historic cup cars are getting ready. For now, I can only see like 4 cars in the queue, but we know we have a lot more historic cup competitors. So we'll have a small break and then come back to you shortly.
right, we are back for the final event of FSG 2025, and it is the historic endurance. The first car on the road is TU Dortmund with their H24 car from, I'm not sure which year that is. So as with the normal endurance, we'll start with the slower cars, that at least the cars that set a slower time in autocross yesterday, and then we will move up our way to the quicker and quicker cars. And I did hear that there was also a little bit of discussion and negotiation about the exact order in order to get some cars at a similar time on track. For example, we'll see Delft cars together, also Munich cars together, as they were similar pace anyway. And we also had the Eindhoven car here. I think it's the one from 2018. They had actually a suspension failure yesterday, but looks like they got that fixed. And then we also have Schweinfurt H97 joining us on the track.
This will be very interesting to see how these times compare to the actual runners from 2025. I think looking at the times we saw from the final 5, it's not going to be too close, but a couple of the historic cars might be able to get in that range.
Yeah, with these electrics, the older the battery gets, the more it's used, the less capacity it has. So I do not expect those electrics to go toe-to-toe with the modern cars. But I think some of the combustions, they can keep going. So we might see some combustion cars maybe get close to the top times we've seen just now in the final 5. And onto their first lap go TU Dortmund. And it's a 107.9 for the first lap of Dortmund. Of course, it is the first lap, so they will be looking to speed up. Diepholz also joining the track with their lovely blue car. Lots of wheel spin here out of cone killer chicane, clipping 2 cones at least, turning towards the Volkswagen stand. Also Eindhoven, slowly but steady passing by, lifting coast on the straight, so they are managing their energy. And I'll have a bit of a look at the times. Actually very evenly matched. Eindhoven has a 106 while Dortmund had a 107. So let's see how they can improve on their second lap. Schweinfurt now coming past me in a 101, so that was the quickest first lap at least from the historic endurance so far. Also here the car from Erlangen being prepared, but first we'll have the car from Siegen, H53, that will also join us. And then we will again have quite a lot of cars on track. I do see a few marshals waving, and that's because the Diepholz car seemed to be stranded. It's, I think it spun. Hopefully it did not hit anything. For us it's just across the track, so it's hard for me to figure out what is wrong. Maybe on the live stream you'll get a better view, but it seemed to have, it's on the opposite direction it seems. So did they spin, did they have an issue? At least something must have happened. It's not looking too good for them.
No, I don't think it was the car from Siegen that spun around, because Siegen only just entered the track now.
Yeah, indeed it was Ivan Diepholz that was over there. Siegen is the one that indeed is joining us. Eindhoven creeping forward, lifting on the straight.
Well, we're going to have another loud car joining us on the track in a bit. 74 Erlangen.
And as you notice in this historic cup, we also do have combustion cars. In the modern competition, there is no combustion class anymore. So this is our opportunity to still get a feeling of how those combustion cars used to perform in the years that they were still allowed. We have the car from Erlangen that is now ready to join, and I do think that will be a quick one. So they will set the benchmark for some of the quicker cars that we will see today.
And we were a little bit unsure before how much of a distance these historic cars are going to be driving, but I did just get confirmation from the officials that because there was such a high reliability and finishing rate with the 2025 runners, that these cars will also be completing the full 18 laps of endurance. Car from Eindhoven completing their 4th lap, I believe.
And also by far their best lap, setting the pace now with a 93.4, quickest car on track, so they might have also just turned on their regenerative braking. Schweinfurt, I do expect an improvement from them. And it is 99.2, so everyone now lapping beneath the 100-second mark. And I do Christian with a meatball flag. We'll see for what car it is. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it yet, Mati, but just in case, if you did not mention it again, there was a confirmed DNF for car number H69 from Diepholz. Unfortunately, they were not able to get going.
And actually that has been given the meatball flag. So what is wrong with that car? I'll see if I can get some information. Okay, it looks like that is it for the Dortmund car. I think it has something to do with some kind of leakage. Or tube that is getting looser and looser. Scrutineers are looking to it, but this is not looking great.
Yeah, Matthias, one of the cars that started it all, at least in Europe, the Stralsund car from 2003 is just joining us at the line. And I think it's Teresa herself that is going to give the green flag to the Stralsund driver. And this is a historic moment because it's over 22 years ago that this car has been built.
And Teresa is like a happy kiddo just after waving the green flag. She might do another one.
We in the commentary team might try to keep our updates to a minimum. It is a very rare sound at FSG indeed nowadays to hear these old combustion cars, so we will let you enjoy those as much as possible.
Erlangen meanwhile in their 2nd lap already setting the best historic time of an 88.8, but also Eindhoven is still improving, and as I say, they're passing me and improving to an 87.7.
And we're about to have car number H05 from Kiel join us as well. Mickey and Teresa having a bit of a photo shoot there at the starting line. Just waiting for the car number 3 from Stralsund to pass by. And there it is, the green flag for H05 from Kiel. Unfortunately, they stalled at the start. But they do restart it. They do have to wait a little bit longer for Erlangen to go by.
also a bit of information on some of these cars. The team from Siegen, age 53, their drivers are André Wilmes and Jan Alhauser. Apparently they wanted to do design, which is not a static event. Like it's not, there are no statics in the historic, and they had some presentation posters hanging. And they were a bit disappointed that they could not participate in design. And their oldest alumni is so old that he received his first salary in Deutsche Mark. But he's still making egress in 4.1 seconds. Or at least some information about the car from Erlangen, age 74. Their drivers are Daniel Deur and Ben Locker. And apparently in the 2023 combustion reunion, they actually changed drive shafts. I do remember that moment. Looking for fun, they do take the competition seriously.
Say the driver's name was Deur. We are seeing some quicker times now. A couple of cars going into the 80s. Erlangen, Eindhoven, both entering 88s and 87s. Matic, take a look at who's joining us at the start line.
It's a car from Zurich 2014 Grimzo. Let's see what they can perform. We also had, of course, the car from Kiel joining us a bit earlier. Their drivers are Julia Zindel and Moritz Abitz. They say that they are too young for the good old stories and that their car is quite heavy, around 200 kilograms.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do unfortunately see car number 3 from Stralsund stop just off the track. The driver making sure not to become an obstruction to other cars. Let's see, hopefully they can get it going again. One of the team members from that car, Frank, standing next to him. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that car.
The car was actually built in 2003 and was at that time the fastest one in Europe. And the first one who attempted Formula SAE in Michigan in 2004 as a German car and finished there overall 20th place out of 120 cars. And it's still in the original status, same engine, same software. We even need an old DOS computer to mapping the engine. And unfortunately, maybe that's the problem why they stopped on the track right now.
No, thank you for that. And of course, yes, unfortunate that they stopped, but we're still hoping that they will be able to get the car going again. The marshals are not quite putting their hands on the car just yet.
Also another car stranded is that Erlangen there in the first sector. I do not see them driving around, so by process of elimination that's probably them. So yellow flag zone here in the first sector. I think they've already been stranded for a few laps now. Let's hope that they can get these cars restarted. The Eindhoven car, meanwhile, still going very strong and very nice pace, and they're improving. They had their best lap time on 87, now slightly slower, but a very consistent pace. And I think they might be coming in for a driver change. Funnily enough, the driver decides to continue. I did hear that they can opt to do the entire stint on their own. Historic enough. I thought they would wait a bit, but come around. But apparently, the driver from Eindhoven just kept going, or didn't see the finish flag. Also possible.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to come in on lap number 10.
Yeah, it might be a little bit confusing because it was a static checkered flag and not a wave checkered flag. So might have mistaken it for a last lap sign. I see there's some kind of discussion going on with the marshals, and I think because we have a new guy doing the flags. Well, he's not new, but he's quite old, but he's new. And so yeah, so probably now he's getting some tips to actually wave the flag and not show it.
I think there was definitely some confusion with Eindhoven because I do see their second driver standing in the pits, racing suit on, helmet on, ready to go. They did give a bit of a disappointed shoulder shake when the car kept driving, but I'm sure they'll come in now.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Your other driver just keeps going. Let's see, Eindhoven is making their way again to the finish line. Will they stop this time around? Or will they just keep going? Let's see. And they do come in the pit, so indeed it seems that the driver just missed the flag.
Yes, and unfortunately Stralsund car was not able to restart, and Frank Ruske, he's heartbroken, big guy, almost crying, and I couldn't understand what he was saying before, but now absolutely not. Something about crying while car was or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunate for them. But you know, they got the car going, and they were able to compete in the historic cup.
And they were actually going very quick. Stralsund car almost broke the 90-second barrier, so they were one of the quicker cars on track.
Yeah, car number 33 from Zurich has been, meanwhile, waiting all this time at the starting line. I think potentially the marshals are realizing that it's considerably faster, at least theoretically, than the cars we're seeing on track right now. It is, of course, also quite a bit newer, but they do now get the green flag.
I did hear from some intel that they do not have a lot of battery, so that they are dialing it down. So let's see what kind of pace they can set for the entire route.
And looking in the queue, we'll also have cars number H26 from Regensburg, car number 62 from Regensburg, 92 from Sevilla, 25 from Dortmund, the other Eindhoven entry, car number 40, and the UT17 and 15, H87 and H85 respectively.
Yeah, and nicely that the Erlangen got started again. It was a lap of over 3 minutes. But here they are again, and immediately improving on their 7th lap with an 88.5. And I have to say, the Zurich car is going pretty quickly. They told me they don't have a lot of energy, but so far their first lap is relatively quick.
Yeah, I think they do have the fastest split times that we've seen so far.
Yeah, just too bad that one of the historic cars from Croatia is not here. Split.
Grimzel from AMZ now coming around their first lap. It is a 92.37, so not the fastest we've seen so far. Stralsund, in fact, were considerably faster than them. But let's see if AMZ can keep that pace up and maybe even speed up.
And Eindhoven did their driver change after doing 1 lap too many. I think the jury will be okay with that. So the second driver did get into the car. Let's see if he can match the pace from his first driver. Regensburg. Their only goal is to reach design finals. Too bad there's no static events for this starting gun. Zurich now improving with 2 seconds to a 19.0.1 if I round up correctly. So that means Eindhoven was actually quicker than the Zurich car. Erlangen in for their driver change. And the other Regensburg is now launched onto the track.
It's hard to hear ourselves a little bit with all these combustion engines roaring to life all around us. It's a little bit easier now that H74 has turned off their engine for the driver change. But we see H92 from Sevilla coming up. They will also be very loud. The two Regensburg cars, of course.
Finally, some proper racing sounds on the circuit of Hockenheim.
Oh, and Kiel missed the braking point in the last corner. We've seen this a lot, flipping the cones. Does it have a name already, this last corner?
Cone Keeler.
Something with late braking, something with going off track.
Maybe missing apex or something. Well, because I think not many teams have actually nailed the apex on that corner. It's quite difficult to judge where to brake. Either you're too early or too late.
And the fastest on track is the Regensburg car from 2014 with an 84.4. Their friends from 2018 are 88 on the first lap. Let's see if they can match that on their second. Also Zurich improving 2 seconds per lap. Can they continue on that trend? But usually around the second and third lap, that's when drivers get into their rhythm. And a little bit of info about the 2018 Regensburg car. It is driven by Martin Lukeš and Johannes Liebert. Also their goal is to reach design finals, and apparently the car has a mileage of 2,500 kilometers, which is about 48,000 skid pads, or a fuel consumption of 625 liters. And that fuel consumption is the average beer consumption of a Formula student event. At least one team.
Yeah, that's really funny, Matthias. I couldn't help overhearing that and laughing. That's really cool. But actually, I'm not sure whether Frank already mentioned in his interview, but the Stralsund car has over 10,000 kilometers on that car, having still the same engine.
Wow, that's a pretty good mileage. I wonder how many liters of fuel have gone through that.
Like Frank would say, really a lot.
And yeah, this Regensburg car is really black, and it apparently was a special edition, nicknamed the BBC Big Black Car.
Oh no, they didn't. Okay, let's just keep the BBC at the Big Black car for now, and not speculate on that further.
No, this is a car-related event, so we would never dare to talk about anything else than cars.
No, that would be bad karma.
Kiel, meanwhile, into what I think is the driver change, being waved by, and Zurich is being chased by an angry Regensburg car with a huge wing. Actually, those two were competing in the same competition back in 2014. And yeah, both Regensburg are setting a new benchmark. The BBC Regensburg with an 83.0 and the other one, the 2014, now in the 85s. The car from Sevilla joining us, H92, driven by Francisco Gamero Gomez and Sandra Jimenez Martinez. So already a female driver in there. Apparently there's really nice spirit between the teams here. They have been sharing a lot of information, but also tools with the other teams. Really enjoying the Formula Student spirit. And the pit, meanwhile, is very busy. We have Erlangen, Schweinfurt, Kiel, and, well, Stralsund, unfortunately, was a DNF, lined up for their second runs, or at least their second stints.
And Matti, I'm just sorry to interrupt you, but I do see some smoke coming from one of the cars. Let me check which number that is. We do have some smoke spilling out of the backside of the Regensburg car.
14, yeah.
You can see it also on the North Kurve, the Ravenel Kurve. Let's hope that's not oil, but it smells like oil, it looks like oil. Because that potentially be, well, a terminal situation for that car. Yeah, we can definitely see the white smoke coming. The car is driving still, and even catching the Zurich car.
Yeah, Zurich not given a blue flag yet. They already passed a few blue zones. Maybe they don't do blue flags for the historic cup, but I don't think they want to do on-track overtakes. And indeed, both of them catching Kiel, but also Sevilla in front.
Yeah, and I think also already the meatball flag is being readied for the Regensburg car. I'm pretty sure scrutineers will want to have a look at the car to make sure that nothing serious is going on. In the meantime, we have a car coming into the driver change area. I'm not sure whether that's for the endurance, but I think it's for the driver change.
Yes, and the Regensburg car did not quite see the meatball flag, I think. So it's still stuck behind Zurich. When Zurich is now stuck behind Sevilla. A nice train of cars forming. Now Sevilla has been given the blue flag, but not for Regensburg, very interestingly. And Schweinfurt successfully completing the driver change and on their way again.
Looking at the Regensburg car, it does seem to be smoking, but not as much as previously, as far as I can tell. Maybe that's because there's no more oil to be spilled, but still.
There's still a bit of smoke coming off now.
Last lap sign for Zurich car, H33.
And it was actually pretty nice to have the two Regensburg behind each other. Driver acknowledging now the meatball flag.
So Eindhoven into the final straight. I think they will be given the last lap sign. Yeah, there we go. Last lap for Eindhoven. The driver acknowledging it. Yep, I've seen it. I'm going to bring this car home. Leave that to me. That's what I'm being paid for. Well, paid maybe in beer. But anyway, last lap for Eindhoven. In the meantime, we have, I think it's Kiel, H05, coming back to the track. Angry as ever.
Regensburg currently the fastest car on track. Both Regensburg were actually very evenly matched. They did an overtake on the Zurich car before. Oh no, Zurich is coming to a halt in the overtake zone, so very nice of them also to move it in the overtake zone. Need to be careful now with Erlangen. Goes well, luckily.
Yeah, it seems that the car is okay again, so the driver indicating he wants to resume and is able to resume and getting the checkered flag for a driver change, I believe. The flagman almost tripping while doing the whole flag thingy. But yeah, good to see that a lot of cars are making it into the driver change area.
And Dresden on track right now, another electric car. And actually on the last lap of Eindhoven, they still need to go around stranded Sevilla, who unfortunately seems to be having an issue. Yellow flags open for the Regensburg as well. Yes. And Eindhoven will be coming in, and they are the first historic car to finish endurance. Congratulations to the Eindhoven team.
Wow, well done guys. It's such a good accomplishment with an old car, finishing endurance yet again. So yeah, amazing job, well done. There's one car is finishing from Eindhoven. The other car, I think the earlier car, is just being waved to the start line by the marshal. So we will have yet again another Eindhoven car on track.
Yeah, both had suspension failures yesterday, but looks like they managed to repair it in almost less than a day.
Oh, and I think Sevilla, the driver pulled off the track. Not sure whether the car, the driver wanted to go into the staging area or not, but it looks like, yeah, he's making some hand gestures, indicating the car will not be able to restart again. So. Yeah, that's a yellow flag situation there. It looks like it's game over for Sevilla, unfortunately for them. But they did have a lot of issues already in the staging area. We saw one of the guys having a laptop out all the time and trying to fix some bugs. It looks like, yeah, the unreliability of the car got the best of it.
Dresden actually had a very quick first lap, even though there was also a yellow flag part in there. So I am very much looking forward to seeing their second lap, because they might be the first historic car to go beneath the 80 seconds. And the other Regensburg now in for the driver change. So this is the 2018 car.
Yeah, so the Sevilla car has been cleared off the track. Actually, the driver did a good job to pull off the track already, and we see another car having a standstill, also having pulled off the track. These are all experienced drivers, as it seems. They don't want to hinder the other cars that much, so just can't see which car that is.
I think it's Erlangen.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess, Matthias. Looking at the livery of the car and also the lack of sound on track, that's one of the Erlangen cars.
Exactly, but they stood still for more than 3 minutes before and got going again. So I'm a glass half full guy. I think they can get going again.
Yeah, it looks, yeah, you're right, your glass is very rightfully so half full, because Erlangen is has restarted again, while Kiel is still managing to going strong, but Erlangen already pulling into the overtaking lane because there's still not very much life in that car. And I think I see the driver making some kind of gesture to the marshals. I think the driver is talking to the marshals. Looks like the chances of the car being restarted are slim to none. But let's see if the glass can be half full still, Matthias.
Yeah, it is running more empty now. And actually we had something very funny in the timing here. Sevilla did a 2-second lap apparently. Somewhere in the timing something went funky. Dresden, 81.6, almost crossing the 80-second barrier. They are
wow,
really
that's really quick. And all the while, the Eindhoven car, H40, has been standing still here for a couple of minutes already, waiting and heating up. But now they are being given the green flag by Teresa. And off they go. H40, the car from Eindhoven, back on track. Not to be confused with the previous car, which just finished endurance. So this is the other Eindhoven.
Yeah, I think the one that finished was 2019. I think this is 2018. They have been very evenly matched so far in the dynamics. So let's see if they can first finish and then maybe even be quicker than their counterpart.
Yeah, and it looks like the DNF is confirmed for the car from Erlangen. The marshals are just pushing the car out of the way. It wasn't really in the way, it was in the slow zone in the overtaking lane, but still, if you need that zone, then it's better to not have a car inside, obviously. And Dresden really pushing, and I just love this this livery. Also the white sidewalls of the tires of Dresden car is something really stylish.
Zurich, meanwhile, is trying to make its way to the starting line, but in between their pit box and the starting line, they stalled for a moment. The other driver is helping now. Let's hope we can see them on track again. They did have an issue just before the finish line, so I'm really hoping for the second driver that he can do at least one lap.
Yeah, the track has been given clear. Well, not really, because it looks like still one yellow flag. But yeah, as soon as the Erlangen car is pushed away, then we should be clear.
Car from Zurich rolling again, so hopefully they fix whatever was bothering the car. I think they will probably first let Dresden through, and then after that Zurich will closely follow. And off goes the Zurich car for their second stint in this endurance. I do have a feeling they had a pretty slow pit stop, driver change I should say. I'm not sure how strict they will be. And in the meantime, is that Schweinfurt that's being pushed off?
Yeah, it looks like that because of the very distinctive livery on the car. Yeah, I'm just going to take out my fernglass to see what's indeed that's Schweinfurt. I think I already hear on the radio as well. That's a DNF for that car. Not exactly sure what the situation is, but that's unfortunate for them. In the meantime, car number 87, if I look correctly, car from Delft. This is the 17 car, right?
Yes, 2017, driven by Simon Langford. They are taking this competition seriously, so let's see if they can put in some really quick lap times. Benchmark so far being set by Dresden here. Can the 2017 car from Delft beat this? But first they will have to clear the traffic jam that is being caused by the Zurich car. Let's see which car is caught up by that. It's the Eindhoven car currently behind 2014 Zurich. Luckily, they have been given the blue flag.
And we will have the battle of the Delft cars out of track just now, because we have also the car from 2015, H85 out on track. So we also know that they both take this competition very seriously and they want to beat each other. Although you would say the 17 car would have some advantage, the 15 will have none of that, and they will bring the fight to the 17 car for sure.
Yeah, Delft now stuck behind Zurich. Looks like Zurich is not running on high power settings. The 2015 from Delft, driven by Chris in the first stint. Let's see if he can complete his stint completely, because then we will have Len afterwards. And Delft manages to clear Zurich. Will they also let Kiel pass? I think that is the sensible thing to do.
Yeah, obviously Zurich having to do some kind of well, management, whether it's due to gremlins or it's just pure battery power or temperature, we don't know. But in the end, yeah, they are going a little bit slow, so that means that although they are still driving, it's not the fastest out there for a world record to breaking car, right?
No, but they already told me before that they have very limited capacity in their batteries, so they already told before that they were going very slow, unfortunately.
Yeah, and let's be honest, just having the car driving again, I know that all these historic cars, you know, they all have had gremlins and they might not be the most reliable cars. So these teams that are here have put in a lot of effort to revive the cars and repair them to be able to compete here. So that's already a big achievement.
This is more for entertainment than for serious competition. Of course, you know, some competitive sensibilities between the drivers and the alumni are present, but mostly this is just a chance for everybody to enjoy the history of Formula students and also for the old members to relive something that they put so much of their life into.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing also the flagman. We mentioned earlier that we have new people at the flag, and also Stralsund is back. So Stralsund had a DNF, so but they got it going again, and the car is back. So I'm not sure where Frank Ruske is at the moment, but he's probably pretty happy to hear that. So Frank, if you're in the neighborhood, come watch your car competing again, because it's out there driving.
A little bit of a traffic jam developing in the slalom now. The car from AMZ slowing down just a bit, and .17 H87 stuck behind them.
Yeah, Zurich was stranded for a few laps, but they got going again. Still not that fast. Indeed, the 2017 car is stranded behind Zurich.
And we just saw the last lap sign be given to H40 from Eindhoven. .33 pulling over into the overtaking lane, and .17 and H62 overtaking now, Delft and Regensburg.
Yeah, and also seeing these new people at the flags. For example, Teresa, our head of media. Yeah, I think the white shirt of the media doing the green flag, and we have Katarina Schifter doing the last lap sign. Robert doing the checkered flag. So all of these take their tasks very seriously. They're actually practicing how they should wave the flag. So they do a good job. So that's dedication for you. Yeah, and also looking at the Eindhoven car, I think that's their driver change. And just taking a look at the timing screens, I think Regensburg is on their 15th lap. So they're the closest one to the actual end of their endurance. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, so far I can see Zurich is driving again as well.
And the 17 car is catching the 15 car from Delft. Will they be able to do an overtake on track? That would be really cool. Of course in the blue zones, but that would give some really cool pictures. They're still quite a bit off, but slowly catching them.
Yeah, it looks like car number 33 has come to stop yet again. No, sorry, that's not right. They're still going, but it's just slow. But I do see another car stopped on track somewhere on the Rabenau curve. We can't really make out which one it is from here, our position here.
Yeah, in 2017, really catching in 2015 now. It will be the final lap for the 2017, so will they still be able to make the overtake?
The Delft car is in, of course, Matti.
Yeah, last lap for car number 17, and they were just in time because the 15 car has come to a stop and there was a quick reaction by the marshal and an even quicker reaction by the 17 driver going into the overtaking lane.
That's a shame. I would have loved to see them actually go past in a proper way. The 15 currently stranded. Let's hope they can restart the car, whatever the issue is. I'm hearing stuff about IMD issues, so that's not a good sign. And the driver of the 2015 car is getting out, so that is a bad sign. H17 again catching Grimsel at the end of their lap. I think this is the third or fourth overtake that they're doing. And Grimsel, of course, just carrying it home.
Yep, and yeah.
Delft will be in for the driver change.
And the driver from the Delft 15 car is out of the car, unfortunately. So that pretty much means end of the line for the 15 car from Delft. In the meantime, still a yellow flag in that situation, unfortunately for them, but we still have some other cars still running, and so there's a lot of action out on track. And also Eindhoven, H40 is back from the driver change, completing that successfully and starting the second part of the endurance.
Yeah, and the Eindhoven car, the E18, is going really quick in the previous stint, so if they still have some energy left, they might be able to set the best time so far, at least the best total time. I think we should be expecting Regensburg to come in. They have been given the last lap sign, and that would make them the third car to endurance. They are on their way into Broken Dreams. Horseshoe now, and then a few more corners, and we'll have Regensburg as the third finisher for our endurance.
Yeah, we have Katarina waving the checkered flag for Regensburg. Regensburg, H62. Well done, both Katarina and the driver doing a great job in finishing this car in the endurance. Well done.
Yeah, so the Regensburg car has the best historic endurance time so far, with quite the margin, over 2 minutes on the first car that we had from the other Eindhoven, actually, almost 2 minutes quicker.
and Erlangen on their second life, but it seems even louder. Back on track still, and still going strong.
Yeah, they need to do 2 more laps. They actually had a lap of 800 seconds.
That should be interesting how they will manage that 800-second lap. But anyway, talking about 800-second lap, I think Zurich, car number 33, is still going. Not quick, certainly not quick, but still managing to drive along. And that's also one way to come towards the end of the endurance. And I think that's actually the case, because they are getting the black and white checkered flag. Zurich, car number 33, Grimsel, finishing endurance. Don't ask us how, but they did it.
Yeah, they only did 15 laps though, so I think they just flagged them off a bit early.
And it looks like we have a proper battle going on with Eindhoven and Dresden. Both having orange and white in the car, in the livery. And also the car from Delft, the 717 is going strong. So we might have a 3-way battle here on our hands.
Yeah, I think the Eindhoven car already overtook Dresden just before, but Dresden is really hanging on. So can they get that position back?
Last lap for Erlangen, but also a last lap sign for Stralsund. Yeah, there we have it. Eindhoven and Kiel. Dresden. Dresden catching Eindhoven pretty quickly. They have sort of a complementary livery if you look carefully.
And I see the 2017 car from Delft slowing down.
In fact, stopping altogether also.
Indeed, Eindhoven was so quick, they overtook Dresden, and then suddenly Dresden found some pace and Eindhoven dropped it. Or they just really like driving together, that's also possible.
Yeah, they might have, well, we don't know whether Eindhoven has to manage something on the car. Looks like Delft got going again. So the 17 maybe having reset something, and then they're off on track again. Looks like Dresden overtook Eindhoven, and Eindhoven is trying to keep up with Dresden, and I think that's a good strategy. Keep close, and then maybe see where the Dresden car is faster. And I think, yeah, Delft is coming to a halt again. Driver pulling over into the overtaking lane very wisely. And there we have it, Stralsund finishing endurance. Or is it driver change?
Yeah, technically it's driver change, but they have stalled next to the track, come back to the pits and continued on, so I'm not sure what state they are now.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange situation. Maybe some rules are not valid for the German teams. And there we have it, Erlangen. Also getting a big checkered flag. I'm not sure whether they finished or not, but still we have another battle going on. Eindhoven overtaking Dresden again. Yeah, and now for some reason Dresden is slowing, or Eindhoven is speeding up again.
Yeah, the DUT-17 meanwhile did manage to get going again. And now a bit of a quiet period, but we do hear some more combustion engines starting in the pits.
Okay, so Stralsund is not finished, but they are changing drivers. Is that the same for Erlangen that you can see?
No, Erlangen should be finished.
Yeah, so that was a proper finish for Erlangen after, well, using up their second life.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to keep track of. Some cars stopping on the track, being brought into the pits. Others stopping on the track, not being brought into the pits, allowed to return, not allowed to return. A lot of chaos, but also a lot of fun with these historic vehicles.
Yeah, I don't think any penalty points or any complaints will be lodged against these teams for doing that. AMG. Karlsruhe is on track with the turbocharged two-cylinder engine. Esslingen, angry as ever, coming on track as well. Already picking up 2 cones and carrying in.
Finally, Eindhoven managed to create a bit of a gap to Dresden, but I do feel like the Dresden driver really wants to get that position back. So they are definitely battling it out on track.
Yeah, and Stralsund second driver is in, and I think the scrutineers are just checking the final, the final safety features of the car. They seem to be happy for Stralsund to go out. So it looks like they will be given the green flag momentarily.
Delft finally made a representative lap at 80.7, looked quite improving on the previous driver, and at least settling into a rhythm. And that is the sound of the Stralsund car. So they actually, I think, started as one of the first cars. Did a little visit in the pits and now making their way to their third part of their endurance.
Yeah, we have a proper German battle going on with between Karlsruhe and Esslingen as well. They both sound really angry with their combustion engines, and it almost sounds like they're angry at each other for not letting them pass. But just keep an eye on the Esslingen and the Karlsruhe car. There's not much difference between them. Yeah, and in the meantime, Dresden, I think we missed that a little bit, but Dresden is on the final lap, while I think the officials are trying to have a group picture. But the life of the official at the dynamic event is meaning that you have to give a checkered flavor every now and then. So the group picture will have to wait a little bit. And also we had the next car already, TU Munich H31 coming up to the line, the combustion version that is. Oh man, I love that sound. Anyway, we have Esslingen just about 25 meters behind them, Karlsruhe. And Eindhoven coming up to complete their 16th lap. They put quite a gap to Dresden, but Dresden doesn't mind because they're in the final chicane over the line and completing endurance. TU Dresden, age 25, well done. Completing endurance in the historic cup, actually a historic achievement as well.
Yes, and this is the fastest historic endurance so far. They beat the Regensburg time by 15 seconds. Okay, of course this is without any cones and so on, but very quick drive from Dresden.
Well, I would not be surprised if that time will be beaten quite soon, because we have a very angry sounding Munich car on track with a huge wing, like huge, and still also Stralsund is still going strong, managing to navigate the track. It looks like Esslingen is trying to pull away from Karlsruhe. The gap has increased just a little bit. Oh, and just as I told you, Esslingen again missing the apex and blocking the wheels, and catching and carrying a couple of cones again.
Yeah, driver didn't really learn from his first lap mistake. Eindhoven now making its way through the final corner very cleanly.
So they're on their last lap, so 1.2 kilometers. We had a little bit of a scare because the Eindhoven car seemed to slow down. But there we have Munich first lap. What kind of time did they do?
On their first lap already an 78.5. Wow. that is definitely the quickest first lap we've seen in this historic cup.
Yeah.
So they are looking to quickest lap is from Eindhoven, 77.8. So if they can only improve by less than a second even, they will have the fastest lap.
Yeah, let's not forget that this was not a rolling start, right? So they will carry a lot more speed, but I see some kind of traffic jam just behind Stralsund and Esslingen, and both Karlsruhe have caught up to Stralsund. Stralsund has been given the blue flag and they are into the overtaking lane, and I think both Esslingen and Karlsruhe have passed the Stralsund car, and now the battle resumes.
And Munich is catching up on Eindhoven. I think must be really cool. But it will be the last lap from Eindhoven. Too bad. I think it must be really cool to be overtaken by such a car, actually.
And there we have it. Eindhoven finishing endurance. What an awesome performance. And I think that's both Eindhoven cars finishing endurance.
And it is the quickest one so far. So again, improving the time from Dresden with only 9 seconds. So it will all come down to the amount of codes.
Yeah, and unfortunately I see on the Ravenel curve, we've been missing that a little bit. The dot 17 has stopped permanently, unfortunately, and they are being pushed off. That means a DNF for the other Delft car as well. So, well, the conclusion is 2 Eindhoven cars finishing, 2 Delft cars not finishing. There you have it.
And the second Munich car making its way. This is the 2018 electric from Munich. They smashed the autocross yesterday with a blistering time that was barely beaten by the modern cars. Renstal Esslingen, meanwhile, again clipping some codes here in the last corner. I really wonder if the too fast car can keep up this pace. This is of course an electric one, so they do need to watch out for their energy. Munich now stuck behind Stralsund, but Stralsund getting the blue flag. Munich seems like they are rapping a bit. Don't think it's on purpose.
No, that sounds like not being able to shift, Matti. That sounded like really trying to shift but not being able. But in the end, on the straight just after the Konkele chicane, they managed to shift once again, I heard. So that wasn't on purpose.
They probably got a bit out of rhythm, stuck behind the Stralsund, and then you get into a weird combo of revs and wanting to shift. But they managed to get going without any issue further on. A really cool battle here between Esslingen and Karlsruhe. Sometimes Karlsruhe gets a little closer, sometimes Esslingen goes away. It does seem like Esslingen has the better of it now.
Yeah, and Munich looks so fast. I'm curious at the lap time, Matti. The electric car, Munich, I mean.
Yes, the fastest first lap we've seen from any of the cars, 77.9. Just scrolling down, and definitely the quickest. So DQ Fast Racing Team going for it. And that is extremely impressive because with these old electrics, they do lose a bit of capacity over the years. So if they can keep up with this pace, then they are looking to... I'm not sure if they will win because these combustions are also very quick, of course.
Yeah, just listen at the combustion car from Munich. It's definitely not sounding as it should. Yeah, very jerky throttle action. Not sure whether that's a throttle pedal or shifting, but definitely not as fast as it should be. So definitely something going wrong, going on with that car.
Let's hope he can get it into a higher gear and then maybe keep it there. Meanwhile, the electric from Munich clipping as well. A few cones here. Very popular, these ones in the final corner. 74.9, yeah, quickest one that we have seen in the historic by far, and already on the second lap only.
Yeah, they might even get into AMZ territory. Maybe not quite there, but very, very close. That AMZ, that is the 2025 car.
So just looking at the queue, well, how do you call a queue with one car? I don't know. But obviously we only have one more car in the queue, or sort of out of the queue. It's car number H17, also from Munich. And I'm looking at the team frantically working on the car, trying to get it going for the endurance, but they're still not in the queue in the ready to race condition. So I hope they can manage to fix the car, whatever issues they have, because I'm pretty sure very soon there will be some kind of end time to this.
Yeah, the H31 from Munich is really struggling right now. I think it will go on track. This has been an awkward situation where the Munich is like half on track, and Stralsund is coming by. Yeah, confusing communication by the marshals now. And
yeah, definitely. Marshals are not giving very clear signs. I think both Stralsund and Munich were given the go-ahead.
And things are even getting more and more complex because now Esslingen and Karlsruhe are also joining in this traffic jam. By the way, Esslingen, is that for the driver change, or are they wrapping up for the driver change?
Yeah, there we go. Stralsund is off again. What I think it is with the Munich car might also be something with the clutch. I'm not sure, because now it's shifting all of a sudden, and there's so maybe something with the software, but it's a combustion car. So,
and immediately on the back of the Stralsund car, just took him a few corners to catch up with them. Let's hope they can keep this pace now. Meanwhile, the electric from Munich had a bit of a slower lap time because of the yellow flags before, but improving again to a 74.7. And the combustion from Karlsruhe, the 2016 car, is on their last lap for this driver. So we should see them coming in for a driver change.
We also have the car Karlsruhe H16 completing the first half of the endurance, pulling into the driver change. So still quite a bit of action to go. Esslingen also still on the driver change. H17 seems to be just about ready to join us on the track.
yeah, and again we hear the Munich car, the combustion car, while the Stralsund car is being overtaken by the electric Munich car. But the combustion Munich car has some throttle issues still, and I'm not sure whether they were using drive-by-wire back in that day. But that
not sure either, but they're currently holding up their electric friends. Hopefully, yeah, there is a blue zone very shortly, but that will cost them a bit of time. Off they go.
But it's very weird because it was well, they had some issues before. Then after the restart here, just at the final chicane, after that it went like crazy again. It was shifting. There was no problem with the throttle, and now they're already having some issues with the throttle. So it's very strange and very unpredictable.
I also have the feeling it's more throttle related. Otherwise, I would say just stick it in A gear and keep it there.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matthias. Something with the throttle. Maybe it's a drive-by-wire and something is not functioning correctly, or throttle pedal is stuck, or something like that. We don't know. Again, we're speculating. Maybe we'll find out later on, but at the moment we have no clue.
Munich even slower now, not even managing to get some speed in. Or it is actually clutch, because they're really coming to a halt now. This is a weird situation.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have 2 cars in the driver change area. One of them is Esslingen, and they have completed the driver change, just waiting for the go-ahead from the marshals to rejoin the endurance. In the meantime, I do hear the combustion unit car restarting again, so they are being given the go-ahead to rejoin the track. So yeah, it can't be really the clutch also. So we are flabbergasted at the moment. This must be a nightmare for this driver. Definitely throttle related. You can see his head going back and forth, shaking violently, and again slowing down and getting going again. But it's no, it's not the best ride of his life for sure. In the meantime, we see a last lap sign being prepared for Stralsund. So that means they are their final lap of the endurance, and also the final lap of their second life in the endurance. But yeah, it's great to see the car having a second chance and taking it. And also Esslingen is back on track, while the Karlsruhe car, they are still debating something. Both of the drivers are out of the car, and the marshals or the scrutineers are looking at something very intently. I'm pretty sure they want to make sure the car is safe before being allowed to go back on track. And they are looking inside the monocoque. I'm not sure what they have spotted, but that's something that is of big concern.
Yeah, some information about the super fast electric car from Munich. Drivers are Tom and Kevin. I would assume this then is Tom. And apparently they were DQ'd here. It was due to a software bug. They were really not trying to cheat. And one of the guys is getting married next week. Well, congratulations on that. And his wife is currently preparing the party while he is here having fun. So thank you, Fiona, and other partners of this Formula 2 members for ensuring this.
Yeah, there's some drama on the track, because just before the slalom I see the Stralsund car on their final lap coming to a standstill once again. So talking about drama, half a lap away from home on their second life already. This is such a shame, because they had a second chance, but we have a driver change, I think, for the electric Munich car already. Yeah, I'm just looking at Stralsund, still trying to restart the car, but oh, that's just heartbreaking. I think Frank will have his heart broken again. And the final lap sign, the last lap sign for the combustion Munich car, again having more and more issues with the drive of the car, and stopping again into the overtaking lane.
Munich does manage to get going again. Stralsund still stranded.
And meanwhile, Esslingen still going strong, sounding angry and very loud. But the driver is navigating the track quite smoothly. Yeah, and we do see the Munich car going again. But Stralsund is still not going. Also in the situation in the pits, is still some kind of this debate going on with the Karlsruhe car, H16. Not sure what exactly the situation is, we will try to find out a little bit later. In the meantime, also the electric Munich, the second driver is in the car, so they will be out on track momentarily. Oh, and Munich. Munich also coming almost to a standstill. Again, half a lap away from home. Yeah, unfortunately, Stralsund is being pushed out of the way from the combustion Munich car. The green flag is being waved for the driver and desperately wanting to get home. Still a couple of 100 meters to go. I think again pulling off the track, not even half a lap away from home, less than half a lap away from home.
Yeah, and when you say home, it's actually just a driver change that they're heading to. So
yeah, that's also home.
so they still need to do 9 laps after this.
H31 from Munich did get given the green flag. It did move a little bit. The driver is revving the engine, but not quite managing to get going.
And I do believe Stralsund is being given a lot of time to restart the engine. I'm pretty sure the driver is doing everything he can to restart. Maybe it's a temperature issue, while the electric Munich is back on track. So maybe Stralsund has a temperature-related issue, and maybe if they wait just long enough, maybe they will be able to restart the engine. These engines can be notoriously difficult to restart if the right temperature is not reached. And I think also the combustion Munich car is back on track again for the driver change. But unfortunately, Stralsund is now, looks like they are being pushed off the track, definitely. Or maybe the truck marshals will push them over the finish line. That might be cool. So H31 into the driver change. So this might be the opportunity for the team to have a look at the throttle response. I see the guys coming up with the laptop and immediately hooking up the laptop to the car. Could be the drive-by-wire, as we speculated before.
Indeed, even in a 2014 combustion car, they're still wiring it up with a laptop. So maybe they know what the issue is and they can fix it. We'll figure out right now.
I don't see another driver. So this driver will be stuck if the same gremlins are still in the car. This will be a long afternoon. Oh, well, let's say night for this driver. But let's hope they can finish or fix whatever issue they have. And talking about fixing issues, the Karlsruhe car seems to be back in running order because the second driver is inside the car. Looks like they managed to fix whatever situation they had, and the scrutineers are happy for them to rejoin the track.
Yeah, and on the track currently 2 cars. Car from Esslingen, the electric 2018 from Munich. I do think that Munich is catching up on Esslingen, but Esslingen itself is definitely also quite fast. Let's see how quick the Esslingen lapped around the previous time. Sorry, this time I think they're stuck in some gear or not upshifting.
Yeah, definitely, Matthias.
Very early blue flag for Esslingen.
They are stuck in. They do have a clutch, but they are still stuck in a pretty high gear, I think, at third or fourth even.
Karlsruhe got on his way again. Almost too ambitious, car understeering, but yeah, driver managed just to miss everything there was to miss, and he's on his way. And yeah, the Munich car absolutely smashing it. At more or less the same pace as the previous driver. I think in this third or fourth lap of this driver we will see what their best lap is, and then hope they have enough energy to also complete it. But I do not see too much worries for the team or the driver.
Well, we can't take anything away from these teams, right? They want to give us spectacular racing, and they are doing that. And they're also not giving up for a moment. If they see any chance of having the car complete the endurance, they will take it. So any second chance they are given by the organization, it's being grabbed by both hands. And so far we've seen actually a couple of cars finishing endurance. And Esslingen sounding a little bit funky from our position.
Yeah, definitely stuck in a gear. I feel like they went down a gear, so now they're even slower on the straight, but maybe just a bit quicker in the corners.
Yeah, maybe it's better to handle in the corner, indeed.
So the team members of car H17, the other combustion Munich entry, still playing around with the car, still trying to make it work. Of course, they also want to get their car running on the endurance, see how it stacks up against everybody else. And of course, just to get to drive it on an official FSG track one more time.
Yeah, the same goes for H31, the combustion car with all the throttle issues. The driver is out of the car. Now the team members are looking inside the cockpit for some reason. A little bit of desperation setting in on the faces of the team members as they are trying to fix whatever issue they have. But yeah, this is racing, this motorsports racing, and a lot of things can go wrong. Sometimes even a component that only costs $2.
Last lap sign given to the Esslingen car, and I think they will be happy if they can finish it, because definitely the car is having some issues.
So no change in situation in the driver change area or the queue. And on track, Esslingen in the final lap, while Munich is still going strong. Not as quick as they used to be, but still very, very quick and steady. While Esslingen navigating the last slalom for them, at least, coming into the Broken Dreams, just over the bump into the horseshoe. Yeah. Pretty smooth, but yeah, the driver is just taking it slow, coming into the slingshot, and looks like pretty high gear. Not even going full throttle on the straight into the final chicane. Over the line, finishing endurance. UAS Esslingen, car number 294. Amazing, well done. Driver did an awesome job to bring the car home. So very well done.
Believe it or not, this was actually the quickest endurance so far from the ones that finish. 15 seconds quicker than Eindhoven.
Wow, I did not expect that, because they were having these issues for at least 5, 6, maybe even 7 laps. Yeah, I think even more, because we noticed it quite earlier. So yeah, that's a great job. Get it in one gear, navigate the track, and don't look back.
I think they won't hold the record for very long because the electric Munich car is going very, very fast, consistently in the 74, 75 seconds per lap.
Yeah, I did see them lift and coast a bit now, so I don't think they will be going for the top lap anymore. They are doing a little bit of saving. They only need to do 3 more laps. Yes, 3 more laps, the DQ Fast team.
Yeah, no change in the other Munich situations. It looks like, if my eyes are not deceiving me, I'm looking at the stricken Stralsund car. And I see a couple of marshals standing around with a driver from Stralsund. So would that mean that they are going to try and restart the car and finish that final half a lap? That would be pretty amazing.
Indeed, they only need to do half a lap, and then I would be very curious at their total time.
Well, I don't think that would matter at all. It's about just finishing this beep endurance. And we hear some cheering. I don't know what. Maybe one of the cars passing the post-scrutineering and finding out that they don't have any penalties or issues. So that could be one of the why we are hearing the cheering.
I think it was even the car from Delft, because I heard their team chant with the Ahu at the end. So my guess would be on Delft.
Yeah, and also Karlsruhe just going steady on track. Munich still pretty quick. And the Munich situation in the pits is steady. No change so far. While the electric Munich, so we have a lot of Munich. Oh no, but it's still going. We got a heart attack. I think they copied the Stuttgart car, stopping for 1 second. And giving the marshals a heart attack. But yeah, there you go, they're off again. We had a couple of heart attacks here today already. A couple of stoppages from Stuttgart, a couple of stoppages now from Munich, the combustion, and now the electric. We had almost a couple of collisions, which thankfully didn't happen. But a couple of situations that were a bit dangerous in our perspective, but everything worked out well, and we're still alive without needing the AED device. And yes, as I predicted, I think the driver of the Stralsund car has gotten back into the car. So we'll keep an eye on them, because we would like to finish this car so much. That would be pretty awesome. And in the meantime, TU Munich finishing endurance. That was even quicker than we thought. I kind of missed it a little bit, but wow, what an amazing achievement.
And a lot quicker than the previous times we saw. This is almost 2 minutes quicker, if not more. Yeah, it's a bit more than 2 minutes quicker than the Esslingen we had just before.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this car was blisteringly fast. Big difference between the other teams.
And it is in fact the second fastest endurance we've seen today out of any car, including the 2025 competitors.
So now we are left to enjoy the Karlsruhe car for a few more laps. I think about 5 more laps that they can do. So let's enjoy this car driving around the FSG track.
Yeah, the smooth sounding car of the 2-cylinder turbocharged AMG car. Yeah, just sounds really cool. And I know back in the day it was a very quick car, still is obviously, but in those days this was one of the top teams to be feared.
Let's have a look at their times a bit more closely. They have been very consistent running in the 82s. Their previous driver had one quicker lap of an 80.7, but all in all, both drivers running around in the same, more or less the same pace. So that will also give them a really good position, because Esslingen, they were just sometimes a bit quicker but less consistent. Certainly towards the end they had a few slower laps. So if they navigate as well, they might snatch the position away from Esslingen.
Karlsruhe in the meantime on their 17th lap already, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I get a big head nod from Matthias. Either that or he's listening to some headbanging music.
Sorry,
but yeah, I think that was yesterday during our Colina duty when we had a bit of music to do our chores. Anyway, Karlsruhe into the slingshot on the straight as well. Also having some throttle issues, but onto the final lap of the historic endurance. And yeah, I'm just looking at the Stralsund car because I do want to see them drive again. But it looks like it's no luck for them because the driver is getting out of the car. It looks like they couldn't fix whatever issues they had with the car. We would love to have to see them finish the endurance, but you know, sometimes the race gods are not with you.
Yeah, too bad for them, because we had many cars actually finishing endurance compared to what we saw yesterday on autocross. But indeed, sometimes if it really doesn't work, then that's all she wrote. Driver from Stralsund now coming back to the pits, so they're definitely trying that again. This is the last lap from Karlsruhe, and then that might also be the end of FSG 2025, at least when it comes to dynamics.
Yeah, the two cars in the driver change area will not be able to compete, as it looks like. So it's all about the final meters of the Karlsruhe car. So that means over the final straight and finishing historic endurance. And we've heard the gong as well. So that means this is it for Formula Student Germany 2025. Guys, Yegor, Matthias, what did we witness today?
Yeah, a lot of good cars, fast cars, a very high success rate, not too many cars getting stranded. That's what I was a bit scared for, right? We all scared for, but everyone did super well. The top five, the final five I should say, was super quick, and luckily they all finished, so that was really very enjoyable to see. And then of course also these historic cars, crazy the speed that they still have even on an event like endurance.
Yeah, well spoken, Yegor. What were your impression of today and maybe these last couple of days?
No, indeed, a phenomenal competition put on this 20th anniversary for FSG. Quite literally a generational event. Cars from all the way back from 2003 and all the way through to 2025, going against each other, teams competing, teams helping each other out, really showcasing the fantastic spirit of Formula Student. And indeed, always great to see people come back and enjoy maybe a little reminder of their youth, a little reminder of their student days, but also, you know, just to pass on the knowledge and keep the traditions alive.
Yeah, well spoken, Yegor. Well, from my side, just want to give a big compliment to the organization, because not only did they manage to do the night event, the Crazy 20, but also this amazing and historic cup. Yeah, so well done by all the organizers. there were no major incidents on track. Fortunately, no fires, no damages, and so on. So everything went according to plan today. And for the audience at home and the audience here, still here, thank you for listening to us or putting up with us these last couple of days. And we hope to see you next year again. And maybe we'll be back with even more bad jokes. Just one more thing, Yegor is pointing out, please do not forget to tune in to the award ceremony this evening, which should start at 8 o'clock. Well, history might repeat itself and it might be a little bit later. But in the end, there will be an award ceremony with a lot of partying and a lot of nice awards. So make sure you tune in and catch that as well. So from our side, thank you very much and see you next year.